sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the third live, but this time I dragged in some people with me here. So of course, Aspen's in the house, Charmaine, and Ivy's in the house, and a bunch
Hello.
of documents came out today. So yeah, say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Even if you're a girl, hello, guys. Unindicted said, made it. Mark, how come this song makes me want to cry? Does it make you want to cry? Really? That's an opposite effect of what I have, to be honest. Hi, Sunny, and whoever is coming in. Hi, CJK. Any Delphi
news? Oh my
Nope.
gosh, that's the whole day, and that's for the next year.
Nope.
I'm shouting out.
Not at all.
Have you ever had one of these before?
What is that?
It died.
Is that Uncrustable?
That isn't
What are they?
Uncrustable.
They're delicious.
What are they?
So good. Peanut butter and jam. Pre-made, no crust. It's delicious.
No.
We
They're
live on
frozen, and you just like stick them in the microwave for a little bit.
Hey,
or
Todd has
air
a quick
fryer.
update.
It was many of my favorite. Thanks, Mark. Or thanks, Miranda. Hi, Sunny,
Todd
Charmaine.
has a quick update on the case.
Todd has a what? Oh, quick update on case.
You're under object.
Live's over.
Are we
Guys.
already? Are we
We're just
starting
gonna wait.
already?
Oh, sorry, Charmaine. Let me turn you up there. Or you're talking lower. Maybe I'm hearing you low. Maybe it's just me. What'd you say, Charmaine?
Said I object. Are we starting already?
Oh, you object to that. Okay, yeah. Charmaine's just gonna sit there and object all night.
Wait, Charmaine, I thought you thought he was too.
That has absolutely no relevance right here, right now.
I object
Oh,
to
I'm sorry.
grounds of
Are you objecting to something that hasn't been filed yet?
Yeah. Are you
Matter of
objecting?
fact, I am. I don't see any issue with that.
Okay. Any news? Ill-advised letters?
There
Oh,
actually
and-
was one, maybe.
Which
I don't
one?
know.
I need to
I don't know.
read it. Are we going to address the fact that one particular letter didn't show up on the docket today, Aspen?
You're
No, I
about
don't think we
Greeno?
should.
Or which
From
one?
what I'm told, it's because the difference in the way that they were filed, whereas like with Fig, he included a Google Drive with the evidence that he had to support his non-involvement with anything. Whereas Greeno's he included with the just in the email, and so I believe they're separating what is public, what's not, because it did include, I think, the crime scene photos.
It seems kind of like a no-brainer to me, though. Wouldn't they just seal the exhibits and release the letter?
Well, I think that's why. I'm just telling you what I was told.
Oh, okay. Even though we showed Greeno's letter yesterday.
Right, but it included several. It included,
Yeah.
lots of exhibits.
Well, for the other ones, even though there was like the correspondence to the court and then like the order from the judge, so you would think there'd at least be something on the. I always get the letters wrong. Is it the CCS or CSS?
I think it's the CCS. I just call it the
CCS.
docket. Right?
Yeah, that it would be on there, but sometimes it takes a while. I mean, his last like request for cameras took like 3 weeks.
Well, they don't have that kind of time anymore. Just saying.
Those poor clerks.
I feel so bad for the clerks and just everybody who works at the court.
Yeah. Sorry, Faith. The other day I said, because there were so many documents coming out, I said, can you please put them in one email, please? You know. By the time I get to your live streams, I'm worn out after reading. That's, it sounds like Charmaine today, to be honest. That's what she was saying. I'm worn out after reading. Oh, so many. Yeah, this Charmaine, Todd and you are in the same boat, I think. Comments on the other channels about RA, innocent. Wait, couldn't have done it. Conspiracy, cover up, and all that stuff. Hey, where did you go, Charmaine?
I'm right here. I don't want to appear as though I'm rolling my eyes or anything at anity. I want
Adam
to
does it all the time.
That's why he's never on camera anymore.
Come on, you just have to be you. That's all, right?
I'm literally eating my sandwich and I will be back on.
Fine. And Adam, what's your excuse?
I'll be right there.
Okay. Ivy, you already have an excuse. You get a pass.
Can I ask what her pass is? Because I've never been offered that deal.
Well, her pass is because she never has been on camera. So
wait, what? Sorry,
see, she's not even listening either.
Sorry.
I was just saying that you've never been on camera, as far as I know.
I'm not giving these crazies my face so they can identify me somewhere. I'm crazy.
I'm crazy. Here's my face. Hey, Frank, how are you? Charmaine came in criminality chat, then ghosted everyone.
I came in and I said hey, and then I went home. I literally went into the chat. I said hey, and then I left. I felt terrible.
You guys, being in Canada, you guys both don't have the open records we have either, so you're kind of protected a little bit.
We've kind of got a border between us.
Really, come at me. I don't care. What are you gonna do to me? I'm not whatever. Dox me. Dox myself daily. Like
I don't want to give anybody any hints or any ideas.
I'm not scared of any of you.
Yarr.
Anyways, let me eat my sandwich.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so well now this document right here, it's 18 pages. We ain't reading no 18 pages to you guys, and not lots of you guys have already seen this, and if you haven't, we're still not reading the 18 pages because most of this is, of course, motion to compel, a request for sanctions, all the reasons what the defense is saying that the state didn't hand over by this time, that time. So we will go to more of the interesting stuff of this document, which you said I think is around page 15.
Yes.
Correct. So let me go to this document. And let's just scroll down. Oh, there. You guys are fast readers, right? There you go. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks so juicy and tasty. Look at all that information. Too bad we're bypassing it all. Okay. And I'm not even going to lie. I started reading to page 2. Then I was like, honestly, I'll just let Charmaine and Adam read it. And I started reading it, but I get bored very fast reading certain documents. And this was just, I'll read it maybe later. Okay. Where is it exactly that you figure? Is it 15 here?
Go to like number 60.
60.
Sorry, peanut butter in my throat. That sucks. Yeah, go to number 60.
Where do you see the 60 number? I'm seeing HIJKLMNOP. Where do you see this?
There's 70.
There's 70 right there.
Where? Where are you guys seeing this number?
It's down, Sonny. Right there.
Yeah, oh, I see. Okay. So you want me to go to 60? Gotcha. I'm like,
Well,
what's
that means I didn't realize that there were all those subsections. So whatever
Oh,
Ivy thinks,
Oh, you
Ivy?
were just guessing for 60?
I
I
guess
was
you.
literally guessing for 60 because that's kind of when I thought it might be
I was kind
relevant.
of confused about that.
Okay,
Hold on.
so
Let me
let's
see.
start at 60. What? This one? 59. Oh my God. You tell me. You know what? You guys tell me. I haven't even looked at this thing enough to know where you guys want me to start.
Go
So,
down a little bit. This is all, like I said, it reads it very similar read to the Franks, in my humble opinion. So go
oh,
down
okay.
maybe after all of these little subsections. These attempts, offense files, motion. I don't know. What do you think, Ivy?
Where's the talk about geofencing at? Well, that's more at the top. There's one, we don't have to read this part, but there's one part that says, it talks about there being two, they're talking about geofencing and how between like, basically about like 12:30 to like 5 something, they can see everybody in their little geofence who was using their
Right.
phones.
Right.
And then it says that, I wish my little searcher thing on my PDF would search. Let me see if I can do this.
Control F.
Okay, go to number 38, which is on page number.
Yeah, I'll just follow the lead. You tell me where to go. I'll go there. Fair enough.
Yes.
Whatever you think
38.
was juicy. Okay. Hey, Travis. I'm on a different page, though, window that I came back over.
So this one, and then most of the rest are at the bottom, but this one says that, let's see. Basically, there was a geofence of the area, and there are some people who the defense claims have not been identified in the discovery material who were within 60 to 100 yards from, I guess, the crime scene between 302 and 327,
Okay.
who have not been identified and who, or maybe they have been identified, but they weren't interviewed, but they're not associated with Richard Allen. And I was thinking maybe that would include the trail, but 100 yards is a much smaller area than you would imagine.
Right.
I put a picture of it in the in our Facebook chat.
Yeah, I seen that. Okay.
So that's kind of weird because, like, who would that be? I kind of wondered if maybe Brad Weber, even though it would be a little bit more than 100 yards, if maybe they caught him driving down the private drive. Because I heard he was doing that approximately at 3:30.
Oh, okay. You talking about 38 here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read the full thing? Because I'm kind of.
I was,
Read?
because it's in like different pieces, so I was trying to get
Oh,
the.
I see. I see.
See, I'll read it. It says, again, specifically, someone prepared a map which tracked the February 13th, 2017 afternoon movements of multiple phones in and around the place where the victims were ultimately found the following day. Particularly, some of these movements appeared to have occurred between 3:02 p.m. and 3:27 p.m., either at the scene where the victims were ultimately found on February 14th or within 60 to 100 yards from that site, and none of the phones or people associated with the phones have any affiliation with Richard Allen.
Okay.
And
This is from the defense, obviously, right?
yeah, obviously.
Okay. Where else
Now,
would
one
you?
of those could have been, you would assume they wouldn't include Libby's, but one of them could be Libby.
Todd says everyone with the geofence will be a local resident and not a 5'4" male with a 40 caliber gun who was off work that afternoon.
There is not a home within 60 to 100 feet or yards of the crime scene.
There's not.
Correct.
That's true. But again, I mean, I consider the source. I'm sorry. Consider the source.
Unmuting. Objection. I object.
You can object all you want. They love to.
Well, And they will get to on the 18th unless the
Right.
judge does the right thing and puts it off till after the trial.
The right thing. Okay. Well, I mean, I appreciate your opinion.
I appreciate yours. I can't even keep a straight face.
There's
I
going
was-
to be this.
Husband,
I feel like it could have potentially caught Brad Weber, even though he would have been a little bit further than 100 yards. But I don't know that for a fact.
There's a
Right.
big thing going on.
Isn't it interesting? I will say, isn't it interesting with all of these filings that they're coming out in such rapid fire after they filed for a speedy trial? Which,
Well,
because we know
this
what a
isn't
speedy
about
trial,
though.
we know what a speedy trial
Really?
means. It means
Like
that
this one.
the any delay to the trial can only be presented through motions by the defense. Any motions that the prosecution puts forth, once that's filed, can't delay the trial past 70 days. But anything the defense does can.
Really?
Well, they've
Well-
requested that. I don't think that's.
It's been
All
approved.
of the
The date's
filings
been-
that came out today, except for one, are for the hearing. They're not for the trial.
That's right. And one of them, I think.
I think it's this one actually.
mm,
Yeah, because it has the incorrect dates in it, and Hennessy would never.
Right.
No.
Princess Buttercup, that was the only interesting thing I found in this document.
Yeah, that's the next thing I wanted to get to. That it kind of goes
Yeah.
with, because I kind of wonder if that's one of these phones, or that was.
You want
I
to go to
didn't-
69? I mean, you guys know that's a perfect number.
Is it 69? I didn't know what number it was.
Someone just said 69, so I'm going to trust that. I'm going to scroll. I'm going to overexert my finger here. Scroll, 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 scroll.
Let's see. It's
Don't think it's that one. Don't think it's
We can
that
talk
one.
about
Well, Sunny,
number-
it's 69 in.
in.
That's
Oh,
A. So 69 is where
Oh,
it says all of the things. So the defense is requesting the court to compel the state of Indiana. Oh, go back up.
oh,
I was reading that. Is the state of Indiana to turn over the defense by no later than Monday, March 18th, which, that's when the contempt hearing is. All evidence that it may have in its possession, but has failed to turn over, including the following. This was the part I did think this part was interesting because this is where they list all the stuff they want. Line in is what Princess Buttercup is referring to.
is that what I'm going to?
Sure.
Okay. The identity of the geofence victim?
Right. And
Right.
I'll even, if you even want to go one higher in line M, it says the identity of person or persons, presumably law enforcement, that labeled the geofencing data. Because they're referring to a map that law enforcement made of a phone activity that was present on the 13th of February during the time that they think that the crime took place. And they said there were multiple phones, of course, within 60 to 100 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
But then they make this specific reference in line M that says the identity of the person or persons, presumably law enforcement, that labeled the geofencing data, including labeling a second phone as geofence victim that was not the phone belonging to Liberty German. And then on line N, they say the identity of geofence victim from a phone that does not belong to Liberty German.
So they're talking about Abby then.
So presumably everyone's going to assume, so Abby had a phone.
But we know that Abby had a
But-
phone.
But where is it? Because law enforcement doesn't have it.
Right. Well,
Or they didn't, at least.
but did we know Abby had a phone?
Well,
we don't it's
Oh,
never
yeah,
been confirmed.
I
It's
thought
never
we
been-
didn't have a phone. Isn't that what Anna said?
no, that's what Anna didn't know a lot. That was the point. Anna didn't know a lot about what Abby was doing. She didn't know she even
Well,
had a Facebook.
And all we know from the Apple remember the Oh, it was 2018. There was the Gmail things that Anna signed that document for. That said that Abby was the owner of those 2 email addresses. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no mention of that there's no mention of her having a phone in that, but it does talk about her, having her being the sole person that accessed 2 different accounts, email accounts at least. So everyone's going to read this and they're going to assume, are they talking about Abby's phone?
Right.
But it's never been confirmed that Abby had a cell phone, because if she did, it was not recovered on the 13th of February, 2017, which means
No.
Well,
the killer took it.
Hold on.
I don't know if that's. I don't know.
Yeah. You go, because go ahead. Go with your thought there on that one.
Because the reason why they mention. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant me. Go on.
Yeah, I am talking about you, about the phone underneath your ass. Yeah.
If the reason they mentioned that is because the BG video was on it.
Right.
So they may have recovered another phone, but it's just not in any of the stuff we've seen.
Well, geofences could just be that they had phone activity, and
But why would
of
they?
a phone that they've now identified as the second victim.
I mean, it could be.
Which, if that's the case, to me, because the defense, I don't know, the defense should know that if Abby had a phone or not. That's why I find this just interesting, the wording.
Right. Gotcha.
I'm not ready to go down that. I'm not ready to go fully down the road of like 100% Abby had a phone, but the wording of this is very interesting.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that if there was a phone that wasn't found there, and so they labeled this because there was activity, and somehow law enforcement knew that they were a victim, and then later on, when investigating Richard Allen, there was a phone found,
They
and that's the
connected
reason
the phone
they're not
to it.
labeling this.
Right, and that once they came on to Richard Allen, they finally identified the geofence victim that they were talking about because of the phone that they found. I'm not saying that's 100%. It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's very heavy speculation.
But it's speculation. I don't think it's very, very heavy. That's been a rumor for a while.
Yeah.
But they found Abby's phone with Richard Allen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
No,
I didn't. That one I hadn't heard. I mean, from what I'll just say my recollection. You guys can all say your in chat your own recollection. My recollection was that there was a phone of Abby's, and that the person who did the killing sent the video to Libby's phone
Right.
of the actual right. That's what
to
I
Abby's
remember.
phone.
To Abby's phone.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's what I recall.
And again, and I'm not claiming that this is true. I'm just saying that this is a rumor I've heard for a long time. So it's interesting to see it in here.
Yeah, I'd never heard that they had found her phone at Richard Allen's.
I didn't hear that part, but
they did find a lot of phones at Richard Allen's, so I could see how the connection can be loosely made. Can we move on?
Of course we can, dear. Of course we can, dear. What would you like to move on to?
Sweetheart?
Anything else?
Peanut butter jelly?
I think
maybe Travis has,
He said 55.
Adam, we're in sync. You and I are in sync.
Charmaine, we're like yin and yang.
That's right.
What are we doing?
We're like peanut butter and jelly, you and me.
Ivy, it's me and you right now again.
Yeah, I'm lost about what's going on.
Yeah, let's just 55. Let's go through 55 here. Whoever wants to read that. 55.
However, since getting back on the case, the defense has learned that Jerry Holman did in fact learn the identity of the Purdue professor, who is Jeffrey Turco, on August 12, 2023, through the Purdue Police Department, and Turco's identity was confirmed a few days later by other law enforcement. Holman even had possession of Turco's report, which contradicted Holman's August 10, 2023 sworn testimony during this same time frame. The information contained in paragraph 55 above came directly from Jerry Holman's own report prepared September 22nd, 2023. Holman's report was not made available to the defense until February 2024. Holman, September 20. Well, I don't know if you want to go through all that.
Well, just go with it a little bit here.
The whole thing.
A lot.
Holman, September 20. Okay, what are you doing?
That's a lot. I'm like, they want more stuff.
They just want everything, and they're just pointing out everything that we heard about in the Franks, and then directly after that, how, you know, the missing Purdue professor, and how they really did know his identity, and
Right.
they were just concealing the information, concealing it, and I've got my own opinions on that, and it's very much from my view on the fence. And nobody wants to hear it. So
yeah, my question is why, if it's true that the Holman's report was not made available to the defense until February 2024, like McClellan said that he gave everything he had in October, didn't he?
Yeah.
yes, and that's the point. He said that he turned everything over, but he in fact didn't, because all of this stuff has come out.
Well, you remember the last, I think, what did they say? They got, when did they say they received that big discovery dump?
Oh,
October 8th.
Yes, that sounds familiar. Yes.
Before that was the last one before the discovery deadline, or the last one before they were removed,
Right.
or before they quit, I should say.
Before they were removed, yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Before they quit. I believe, you know, apparently Holman is not the best at as the best at
memory or
relaying information that he has.
You're skipping over the February date, though. That's the next issue, is what Holman said happened. But what's the explanation for them not having the report until February 2024?
Well, they weren't the defense for the majority of that time.
But McClellan told the court that he had handed everything over in October,
Right.
and that was done in September.
But we don't know if Holman had given that to McClellan.
I'll grant that, but it seems.
I mean, just like McClellan sent an email in September of 2023 saying that they didn't yet know the name of the professor when Holman had the name at the end of August.
Even if there was the new defense, do you think the 1st of November deadline still stood?
When was all of the discovery turned back over to the defense? February
I'm just
2024. So presumably it was included in the discovery that the interim defense team had.
the stuff that they all labeled
And
different.
It was received by Baldwin and Rosie in February 2024.
So Travis makes an excellent point, I think, to wrap this section up. So either he is a liar, or law enforcement is lying to Nick about it, or a little of both.
I will say I disagree that. I don't disagree 100%, but I think it's at least possible that there was some word trickery used. And how do I explain this? I said this back with the Franks too, that when Holman says that Turco, is that his name?
Yeah.
Sure.
Turco said that there was no Odinism involvement or an Odinism group. I do think that could potentially be seen as consistent with what Holman said.
Right. And there and the interpretation that they're I'm sorry, Abby, go ahead.
And I was just saying, because what Turco said was that it was runic. So like somebody basically was trying to make it look like what they thought Odinism should look like, which to me says that it's somebody who's not an Odinist trying to make it look like it is.
But I don't think he said it that way. I don't think he's brought up. And said
He
that
didn't. And it was quoted like.
It looked runic, didn't he?
He said it looked.
Like an attempt.
It's hard though, because the parts that they quoted were weird parts that shouldn't. It doesn't make sense to be quoted. So to me, that says that was the only part that helped their particular story that they're trying to portray, their side.
And that's
And the
all
rest
you
of
need
it
to
was
do.
paraphrasing.
And when you're putting a legal document out, that's all you need to do. You don't have to give the full context. You just need to include the part that supports your narrative. That's the sad part of it all.
So
Yeah.
that's I still think there's a problem with the time, and it's still weird about the whole like we don't know who this guy is type thing. But that particular part, I think that there could be an argument that it is consistent.
Agree.
Travis says, step back from your theories. They have an email from Nick saying, we don't know who the expert is.
I agree with that.
Nick
You can't
might not
disagree
have known
with
who the expert was at that time. I don't see that as being untrue.
maybe
Right.
on Nick's behalf, but why wouldn't they tell Nick?
Well, there's is this
Plausible
another?
deniability. That's the only reason.
Could it be a possibility of? I don't know. Never mind.
What I was going to
Go
say
ahead.
was this whole thing, to me, if all of this stuff was overlooked or investigated and dismissed as a possible whatever, that in my head is that not a reason, legitimate reason, but an excuse to have not included it in the discovery in the originally if it wasn't relevant to their investigation. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying right, that it's good, that it's proper, but giving them, extending them an olive branch, if you will.
Well, yeah. If there's think about. Okay. If you really go back to the beginning of this case, and you think about the leads that the public knows that the investigators took, that over the course of 5.5 years led to Richard Allen. If you think of the Ron Logan of it all, if you think of the Garrett Kurtz of it all, if you think of the Chadwell of it all, the Nations of it all, countless others, think of how many avenues the investigation has gone down that we know about. There's probably a lot more that we don't know about. So when they use the word relevant in a court filing, in a court document, that if the prosecution is brought charges against Richard Allen, so this very nominal part of the investigation with Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder did not appear relevant to them because they didn't follow up on it. Now, whether it should have been or not, that's arguable. And that's fair. But, if Nick didn't include that because he didn't think it was relevant.
I don't feel like this was an outright lie myself at all.
Right.
I don't myself. I just personally, for me, I'm just kind of feeling like, that like everything, communication can get especially in this case. But I'm not feeling this thing like it was meant to be some outright lie.
No one's protecting these and hiding these Odinists did this. It's a mockery, and it's unfair to the people that follow this case, and it's unfair to the victims, and it's unfair to the families that they've even attempted to go this route, because it's just disgusting. But go for it, because you're going to lose.
Okay, Travis says Nick is responsible. Doesn't matter if he was lied to. The point is they have a record for appeal on Brady. They don't get to say what's relevant. They have to turn it all over.
And that's
I agree
kind of
100% with him.
At this point, right? Like everything. To me, if the jury doesn't find reasonable doubt to acquit, then you have to worry about the appeals and everything that's happened in the investigation that could.
Well, if Richard Allen's convicted, if they have Richard Allen on video, committing this murder or these murders, there's going to be an appeal. That's a given. So anyone that thinks an appeal, if there's a conviction, is a win for them, they're wrong, because there's an appeal in every case.
Absolutely, it's automatic. But my point
it doesn't
is,
mean an appeal is going to be successful.
no, it doesn't. But if they have them on video, then you're probably not going to see an acquittal either. Like, what?
Right. And we don't know all of the evidence that's going to be presented at this trial.
Right.
So
and that's I just said in chat. Like, nobody knows anything.
that's because you're smart, Charmaine, and I love you.
Oh my
Nobody
God.
says that though.
You
I
guys
Everybody's like, no,
wanna
this
put
is
it together. There we go.
exactly what's happening.
This is
Can you
better.
not? Can you just not? I will. You know what? Fine, do it there. Be like Adam and not be on camera because you put me on the top.
Well, that's because so you can be closer to Adam.
But I don't. I don't mind being under Adam.
Do you want me to put you back?
Please, thank you. That's better.
I need a quick explanation on what has to be included in discovery. I've been meaning to Google that myself and haven't gotten around to it.
Sorry, what did you say, Ivy? I wasn't listening to
What
you.
has to be included in discovery?
That is an excellent question. Like, where's the line? Because not everything is discoverable.
I thought it was everything this whole time. That's why I thought there was so much
No.
information.
Well, that's what we're seeing in this document now too. Is we're seeing the things that. So we know that we've seen like 16,000 terabytes, whatever, of discovery. We're now seeing the remaining things that the defense team wants. That they have not received yet, and that's fair. They should get them if they exist to be given to them.
Well, and it's also saying though, give it to us, but if it doesn't exist, make basically like in writing say that they don't exist, confirm, give us a confirmation. And I don't think that that's that crazy, and I really don't understand why people are making this out to be this like nonsense of a filing.
Right.
Well, no, it's not at all. The defense should make
I'm
filings.
gonna say you did, but just like I've watched several people on today, and a lot of people are making it out like that.
I think the defense should make filings like this. I mean, they should. If the defense doesn't have something that they want that could help the case they're going to present for Richard Allen's innocence, they should receive the evidence that's going to either help or hurt them if it exists.
And actually,
100%.
earlier you did say that it was interesting that once they filed for a speedy trial, that all of a sudden things are coming out.
Well, it is interesting that they that they filed for a speedy trial. Now they're asking for all of this, and they won it in 6 days.
They should have already had it though. These are things. These are not things that
I
are
agree.
new, Aspen.
It said that they requested it in February. Sorry to interrupt you, Charmaine.
Well, I'm talking about the stuff they've detailed out for like this is what we want.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't say they requested all of.
And I'm looking at the dates of these items, and it should have long been discovered. Like this is not to me, this is not a brain teaser. Just hand it over. Just give them the evidence. Like
I said, I believe that when the whole Odenism thing came out, when the Franks memorandum came out, I don't think that was an investigative avenue that law enforcement or the state took seriously. And whether or not they should have, that's arguable. And I think they played catch up at that point. Where, I think they reconducted these, depositions, interviews, and then I think they presented, some of their findings after the fact. And I believe there was some ineptitude there. But like the fact that they're laying out the stuff, I think is good. Like, here's what we want. Because these because each of these individual things were not all requested in February or previously. They are laying out bullet points of what they want. But again, 90% of these things may not exist.
Some of them are very surprising.
Real. This may be defense fiction.
Like
I'm not saying it is.
I know, but like Derek German's law enforcement interviews, are you saying those don't exist?
I wasn't going to bring that up. I get super offended when anybody brings up the family's name
Again,
and questions anything. Just leave.
Well, that's not questioning. That's just like, of course, the family's going to be interviewed.
right.
I
Well,
just feel
Kelsey
like
Sherman, Cody Patty, they brought them all up. And, you know, I don't know. It's just,
What about the two? They also said that the two pictures on the bridge aren't relevant. If that is true, like, how is that not relevant? The Snapchat pictures, the one of
Yeah,
Abby and the one of the bridge.
Yeah, of course it would be relevant.
mhm. So I mean, that's why I was not looking forward to going over this one, because it's just so.
Yeah, it's very
grit. Well, because you know why? Because it's a press release disguised as a defense motion.
mhm.
I object.
What? I don't understand why everybody. Here's my problem with that. People say that about every file, and I'm saying I'm saying people, but every filing that comes out like that. Well, how are the defense supposed to file it? They don't have another option. That drives me
Well,
fucking crazy.
the reason that I have a problem with this, as opposed to this, is the reason I have a problem with is because they're including discovery, because this is the
They're
same thing as
talking
when
about
the
discovery.
Okay.
Ivy said the F word.
Ivy,
What?
did you swear?
She
I
said
don't
the F
know.
word.
Did I? Sometimes it comes out and I don't realize.
You
My
don't
problem
swear,
with
Ivy.
this is that just like in the Franks memorandum, the defense is using a public, they're using a public filing to release discovery information that they say could or could not exist.
Okay,
They're painting a narrative in the public manner which could taint a jury pool.
But so the
if they're not
painting, no,
violating,
but they're saying that items that they got in discovery leads them to believe that something else could exist.
And they
as a
could have
result
filed,
of-
and they could have filed this confidential if
So
this
they're
was
just
just.
they're
Never mind.
not painting it, they're not picking it out of thin air.
But why should they file it confidentially if the rules don't say that this is not information that should, like, there's rules for confidential filings,
There are absolutely.
and this is not covered under that.
Of course, it's not. But
Except for
Travis,
the names. Nobody
they're
ever.
going around. They're going around that by putting this into the public.
but if
when
it's not violating anything, Adam,
It's not violating. Absolutely, it's not violating.
Right.
But
so they are going
it's
around.
dirty. It's dirty, and it shows their
Yeah.
character.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I
they're doing
object.
anything they can to get their client off. So, but if it's not breaking any rules, and it could
You
be
don't have to break a rule to be dirty.
pool, right? But
You
But
would
the same-
know.
by the hey, by the
Did you hear
same-
that? Did you take offense to that? Because I apologize if you did.
Not at all.
Yes, you did. I can tell
Yes,
by
you
your
did.
face. I'm
You're-
sorry, I was totally kidding.
You guys are all getting feisty, and I love
I
it.
know that I'm in the minority here. I just call it like I see it.
I
And I
was
won't
like-
ever stop doing that.
What message do you think this puts out to the public that helps them that they could have not included?
Do you remember the effect that the Franks memorandum had on the public? Because
Yeah.
we've all spent the last 7
That's
8
a lot
months.
different than
Nope.
this, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because in this, I've had 7 people message me today, talking about, oh, this proves the family is involved.
But that's not their fault. The public being crazy isn't either
The public-
side's fault. They
Of
can't
course-
help that people are following the case like that. That doesn't change. That should not change the way they file things.
Ivy, if you're going to say that this specific defense team is not fully aware of the public activity in this case, I mean, I don't know what else I can say.
I didn't say that. That's not something I just said.
No, I said I'm saying if that's what you're implying, but I mean, like, they know, this defense team knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to the public. They have orchestrated and used the public to their advantage every step of the way. They have victimized themselves. They have played upon the public this entire time, and it's worked.
And I agree. I'm
They
with you on
tricked
this.
the Supreme Court too.
Like,
Right.
Made themselves victims and won the whole thing. Not the whole thing. One of 3 things.
And Ivy, I'm not going against you. I love you. You know that.
I don't love any. I would leave you guys in a second. Remember?
Very
Okay, so-
professional only relationships.
Obfuscated.
Except
Couldn't
I
even remember.
get that I'm going to get hate for my opinion, and I get that I am in the minority. That's okay though.
You know what, Adam? Though I feel the same way as you on this one. Like, okay, it's to me, it's like when you're bordering
I'm
that
glad it's
line of
hysterical,
ethics.
Travis. Sorry.
Oh wait, hey, easy guys, easy. Okay, because everyone has the right to their opinion, right? Remember that. Okay. So I agree with Adam on this. I think that they're walking that very fine line boundary of, crossing kind of using the public like they are. They absolutely are to me. Now, whether it is to you guys or not, now is that classified, like I said, like Travis is saying, but they're not breaking any rules. But are they doing everything in their effort just to keep pushing out their narrative so that a reasonable doubt can happen? That's the defense lawyer's jobs.
I'm not
They
saying
won't.
that it's never been done. It just annoys me when people say it about every filing. It's like any filing that has information that
Oh,
in my opinion, may be problematic, gets turned into they're using it as a press release. They're using it to get around the gag order. And about the jury pool, I don't have experience. I'm not a lawyer, all that, but to my knowledge, they're not going to pick people who've been following the case and have read these things. They're going to pick people who haven't been following the case closely. So I don't understand the whole tainting the jury pool either.
so Travis is saying that basically it's simply people who have no idea how the court system works and thinking, well, I'm definitely not a lawyer. And I definitely know shit all about the system. Um, my stuff, like I have absolutely zippo knowledge about this shit when it comes to this. This is why it's not even my forte. Doesn't mean I don't have my opinions or thoughts, and it doesn't mean that I can't listen to the prosecutor side as well and to the defense. And when they said that it should have been, say, not public, but they're the ones that hit public. Again, to me, I don't know.
How do we
Whatever.
know they hit? Wait, which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Frank's
Okay,
motion.
never mind. I thought you were talking
Um,
about the most recent one.
yeah, no. But my thing is this: at the end of the day, there's feelings of if something is ethical or not ethical, but whatever. Obviously, lawyers have guidelines to follow, and if they break them, they get repercussions for doing that. So whether we agree if it's, say, playing dirty or putting it out into the public so that it tries to taint the stuff or whatever, again, don't really care about that stuff in a sense, because if they're not breaking the law and they're allowed to do it, then I have nothing to say to that. Because if they're not breaking the law and they're still, but some people, like I said, myself, do I feel like the defense is absolutely, using every tactic that these guys are smart. Baldwin and Rosie, they're a smart team. And yes, do I worry that this whole stuff plays into the public a little bit or into a jury's head? I'm hoping that through the evidence that the prosecution will provide, that they will have sufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that RA is guilty. And if they can't, obviously, well, it is what it is.
Well, I expect them to be able to find a jury who won't have. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to find people who've never heard of it, but I think they'll definitely be able to find people who haven't been following it. And if that is the case, then they'll only hear the admissible information that they're presented in court. None of this will be on their radar. And I agree with Steph about that. In fact, when I read it, I know it asks for everything about the interviews, but the thing that made me think about was they probably lost some of those interviews in the very beginning, the interviews that were lost between, the 13th or the whatever, through the DVR thing. That was probably some of the family's interviews. And that's what this filing made me think of when it mentioned them.
What did it say in here? I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Sorry. At the very bottom, it basically says we're requesting all the interviews from Derek German. Let's see.
Where does it say this? Is it right at the bottom here?
On F of
They're German coding.
69 and then F underneath 69.
Okay.
That's where Derek's is at. Yeah,
okay.
all of Derek German's law enforcement interviews, including video, audio, and notes and reports. So I have a feeling that at least one of his interviews was probably lost on that DVR. Same with the other family members, because that's who they're going to interview first.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they lost everything from the 13th to the 20th, presumably that would mean they absolutely lost family interviews.
And you would hope that there was at least one of those narratives done. And it wasn't, just video or audio.
Motion is about DA being accused of not treating her. On the Franks memo, the motion is about the DA being accused of not turning over
Trash.
things timely. That's it. And again, it's a game we're watching play out, really. And if they aren't, like I said, whatever. To me, it's going how it's going to go. If they aren't turning over evidence or, whatever, again, then obviously, whatever repercussions they face because of that, if they're not doing it or if they don't, I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand all this side of the law about, if this has to be turned over by this deadline, let alone can I even remember the effing deadlines that discovery was done anymore. There's so many motions. Honestly, my head's spinning. Get to the fucking trial.
One of the issues is since they didn't do the contempt thing separately, then you got to juggle that in your head.
I know. Did I swear, Ivy? I feel like you're rubbing off on me a little bit here.
See what Hudis said? You can't lose one interview in a time frame without losing everyone's. Looks more suspicious if you only lose one. I think they did lose all of them, but I don't know I can't decide what point she's making with that. If she's saying that looks suspicious, because that's what you would do.
Well, I think that's what she's saying. I think she's saying, well, we can't just lose one because you have to lose more than that in order for it to make it not look suspicious. That's how I'm taking that myself. Let's see. That's how Charmaine, you came back on camera. Is that because did you have something to say to any of this?
No. I came back on camera because I'm supporting your channel. I'm here. I'm here. I am opinionless.
But okay, so I'm not going to lie. For me personally, I don't take offense at all to anything unless it's like some distinct dick-ass remark. I don't take offense to what Adam says, to what you say, to what Ivy says, to what Travis says, anything. I don't get myself worked up in that way. But it is kind of funny watching people because this case works people up. And I can see that, like I said, the feistiness in Charmaine today because it's been a long day of reading and work and that. And Adam has his points of views and Ivy has hers. I never get riled up by that stuff because, again, it's everyone has the right to their opinions. So when cameras go off or eyes roll, who cares, right? Because we all are entitled to that
get worked up. But I don't usually get offended, though. I get worked up, but I don't usually get offended, except when people start doing the I don't even want to say this. If you're having a legitimate conversation and everybody's being intellectually honest and respectful, when I start getting a little offended is when people go to this is about Abby and Libby and we've lost sight of them. I start feeling a little attacked there. You can't, I don't know. Sometimes it seems like an out when people want the conversation to end, but there's an implication that if you want to continue picking at these and taking a different stance, that you don't care about Abby and Libby. And that's where it starts getting offensive to me.
Oh, I think that sounds like perception, to be honest, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Wouldn't offend me.
I know it's my perception.
I'm also Canadian, and I'm not like that.
Say you're sorry, Charmaine.
Yeah, say you're sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm just confused. People in chat, they know me. Anne, you hit it, and then Sweet Dude. Am I giddy? That's amazing. I love that somebody called me giddy. That's never happened.
High on the jam.
Yeah. The thing is that when we have strong personalities and we all have our thoughts and stuff like that, like I said, I mean, I enjoy people's opinions type of thing. I don't let it work me up, and not even with what you were saying, Ivy. I get it. People have triggers. The only thing that would trigger me in here is if someone started talking about the family members in a negative light.
Mm-hmm.
That would piss me off because we don't talk about the family members in here in a negative light.
I agree.
That part is ridiculous to me. You can take that stuff to the trashy other channels that want to blame the family on there. But other than that, like I said, so unless someone's being specifically ignorant and attacking, you know, it's one of those things. I just really enjoy good debates, and I
Me too.
enjoy when people kind of get heated, as long as we all come back and go, good talk, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of like getting worked up is like the passion that you have for the topic,
Yeah.
and I enjoy that.
And this case has brought out, you know, a lot of that in people, because like even right now, like I am so effing tired of seeing emotion. Like honestly, I want to vomit all these, you know, documents that keep coming out. Why? Because for me, honestly, because I don't want to say I don't give a shit, but it just seems like a circus act that's never stopping. And so for me, my brain is set on the trial. Like, hey, clear all this shit out of the way.
I
Let's
wish
get-
they. I know it's not going to happen. Probably. I really want her to I can't think of the word, to like do the stay that they motioned for and just push this out after the trial.
Mhm.
Oh, well, none of us are lawyers, so you'd have to ask a lawyer.
Well, I mean,
I
I'm going to take a lawyer's opinion over non-lawyers' opinions usually. Except
agree
for
with
my own,
that, David.
obviously.
Charmaine, do you object?
I believe the word
No, I
is.
was actually very offended by that, Ivy. I mean, I'm a little surprised.
I believe the word is ancillary.
What?
Wait,
I
right?
believe the word is ancillary proceedings.
I don't know that word.
You better get on his ass about using a word you don't know then. We don't want to get pedantic about anything in here.
Yeah. I'll just go back to my, trying to find my thumbs.
I mean,
You go back and hide behind your camera there, Adam.
I get like what this is coming from, but at the same time, like I do think it's hard when a lot of us don't have experience doing the job and knowing what is normal and what is not, and what is maybe a little bit over the line, but not that bad, where on our side it looks like it's terrible. Like, for example, the ex parte thing. I always say parte. I don't know what it is. But Travis was like, yeah, that's bad. But when it comes down to it, it's not like this giant bomb that most of us are making of it either. And I do think that is something that like none of us have, is the experience to know those things.
I think that's a compliment. Travis said pedantically speaking, Ivy always hurts my head.
Can't believe that word has gotten us so much shit.
It got its traction, Ivy. Well done.
Well, we got Mr. Ancillary there, Adam. And then we got
I don't think
Pandemic.
I've ever said that word out loud. Ancillary. I don't know.
What does it mean? Because I think of armory or artillery. What does it mean?
I thought Aspen's verse said celery. I'm like, what is celery?
I said ancillary.
I thought you said celery. I was like, what kind of a dig is that,
Right.
Adam?
Yeah, no, I said ancillary the first time, but you are correct. Thank you. But hey, this second new word I've learned today.
Yeah. Oh, I learned that lavacious word from the other playing. Lavacious or lascivious.
Lascivious?
What? How do you say that word?
Lascivious?
What? Lascivious?
It's a perfect way to transition into the next document.
Oh
I was going to say.
So that we're not on this live for 7 hours.
Yeah. So you guys ready to go to the next document?
Yes.
I'll talk like the judge did to during the Russ case, when the lawyers were kind of going at it. She's like, I think it's time you guys had a coffee break.
Right. and I don't want to be rude, so I apologize.
No,
whenever you guys are ready to move on.
Yes. Charmaine, do you object
to moving on?
Yeah.
I absolutely do not object.
Okay, so which one do we want to go to next, guys? Which motion? Which one do you want to do?
Why don't you go right to the celery one?
Oh, okay, that one is here.
They've already fallen out of my head.
Actually, where is that one? Which one's that one called, Adam?
It's celery.
Is that actually on the actual? like I see motion, verified motion. I just see the names.
Oh my gosh, I've never noticed until
It's
just
the
this,
first one I sent you, but let me double check.
I've
Is it-
never noticed that you can see all your files up there.
Me neither. I just noticed that today. And the reason why was because I seen a big X and I was clicking off of it and I was like, wait a second. All these files that I've opened, I can see them? Sweet. I only learned that today. But does the ancillary one or whatever it's called, does it have the word ancillary in it? Am I just
No,
missing
it's
it?
called.
Yes, please tell me.
It's the first one I sent you. It's Richard Allen motion to stay all.
Motion. Oh, how did I piss off? Great. Motion. Richard Allen motion
To stay all one.
What the fuck? I don't know. Oh, this one. Okay. Hey, there we go. Getting handy dandy. I'm getting better at this shit. Okay,
I kind of hope she would do this one, but I don't think she will.
Okay, so go ahead. Who wants to read this? Who wants to read this one?
Ivy.
I'll read it. Comes now David R. Hennessy, counsel for attorneys Baldwin and Rosie, and respectfully moves the court to stay all ancillary, is that how you say it, proceedings and get this case to trial. In support of this request, counsel states, 1, currently pending is a hearing on March 18th, 2024 on the defense motion to dismiss and the state's hope to punish defense counsel. Number 2, the motion to dismiss directly affects the case and the prospect of trial. The state's request for the court to punish defense counsel does not. 3, the state's request to punish defense counsel includes alleged acts of omissions over a year old. The state did nothing about its complaints until the day after the Indiana Supreme Court reinstated defense counsel. Number 3, the state's request to punish defense counsel includes, you're moving it, now I don't know where I'm at. Oh, number 4. The contempt hearing has already required many hours of preparation, will require many more, and the hearing will last at least 1 day and probably 2. This is just a distraction for everyone from preparation for a trial now 61 days away. It is also a disservice to the families involved. Number 5, since the prosecution delayed as long as it did before seeking contempt sanctions, clearly time's not of the essence. There's no reason not to prioritize trial over the ancillary.
Ancillary.
I don't know, the celery question
Yeah.
of contempt. Any such issues could be litigated and resolved after trial, no matter the outcome. Number 6, in short, the court and the attorneys need to get back to the critical issues and stop the diversionary filings. Where for counsel respectfully praise the court to stay all, I think it's ancillary. Proceedings not directly related to the charges, evidence for trial, or other trial issues. David Hennis.
So what do you guys think of this one? Motion to stay all ancillary proceedings and get this case to trial. I concur. Let's go.
I actually agree with all of that. I know that he's the attorneys for the defense. You know, it's kind of funny from that perspective. But if you look at it from like an unbiased view, I'm all for that.
I'm all for it.
I am also all for it, and I also think that it will be denied without hearing. But I'm absolutely for it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, let's get this show on the road, cut the shit, let's get to the, the bones of it all, and move forward. It just.
Aspen is on a phone call, so.
Oh, is he? Oh, are you Aspen? Are you really? Prove it. Turn on your camera.
He in chat a few minutes ago.
Oh, I did. Well, I wasn't. I was on the other page, or I can't see the screen. Okay, so. What do you guys think in chat? You guys just say get to the case trial?
Do you think it's important to have this hearing before trial, or do you think it can wait?
I think it can wait.
I think it can wait. I think it should wait. I think it absolutely should wait. If 3 days ago it couldn't have waited, now with the speedy demand, it definitely has to wait.
Yeah, I think it can wait.
It's best for everyone.
I agree with what Travis said about this one. I agree that if any of these were for like the media and the public, this one was one of them. saying
Oh.
like, oh, we just need to get back to it, because obviously the public's going to eat that up. And it's
Right.
not, I don't know. I think this is one for the public if there are any of those. And like for justice, I just said this annoys me when people say this, but I'm saying it in a different way. Okay. Justice for Abby and Libby, both sides need to focus on the matter at hand. They don't need to be distracted by all this stuff. This trial is going to be in less than 70 days. Everybody needs to like have all their ducks in a row. That's what they need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, next filing. Which one? Here, you know what? I'm just going to pull them up on the thing that I have.
I don't think the order matters.
No, I don't think so. What does this one say? Okay.
That's a recusal of the prosecutor.
Okay, so I didn't like read any of these, to be honest with you. I was busy doing other lives today. I was trusting my fellow panel here to
Charmaine, do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
take it over for me.
I can do it. Comes now, attorneys Baldwin and Rosie. By counsel. Stop moving it, please.
I had to move it up.
Okay, and respectfully petition the court to recuse Prosecutor McClellan from any contempt proceedings. In support of this position, counsel states 1. On January 29th, 2024, the elected prosecutor of Carroll County filed a verified information of contemptuous conduct. Number 2, all of the alleged acts or omissions in that pleading are more than a year old. Number
Okay, gotta move
3,
it.
the pleading was filed the day after Attorney Baldwin and Rosie were reinstated as appointed counsel for the accused. Number 4, Mr. McClellan made no effort to seek punishment for defense counsel in the intervening 1 year. Number 5, whether defense counsel were disqualified or not, if Mr. McClellan truly felt they should be punished for acts and omissions, he would have filed his pleading sooner. Number 6, I don't know about that because of the recusal thing. But anyways, number 6, the facts and circumstances of the filing, the delay, the timing, and the allegations all indicate a personal vindictive attack on the defense counsel or ulterior purpose. That filing also does not comport with the rules, statutes, and case law regarding contempt proceedings.
That said coleslaw. I'm so tired I am. I thought it said coleslaw.
Case law. 7, the allegations are frivolous and unfounded. Number 8, Mr. McClellan assessed, read, and quoted a defense pleading that was filed ex parte. Party, whoever you are. Number 9, Mr. McClellan's theory on one of his accusations is that the defense counsel should have voluntarily communicated with him and the court an accidentally misdirected email, yet he did not voluntarily report that he had accessed an ex parte pleading. Number 10, despite Mr. McClellan's, I don't like this word, why don't we just say protests, of an innocent mistake in later filing, A, no other attorney of record could access the pleading, B, the CCS clearly stated ex parte, which Mr. McClellan would have seen before opening the document, C, Mr. McClellan is a lawyer with nearly 15 years experience and knew or should have known that ex parte means not to be accessed or shared with opposing counsel, and E, Mr. McClellan, having opened the pleading, would have seen the title which specified ex parte, but he read it anyways because he quoted a portion deep in the document. The concept of innocent mistakes by attorneys will be a part of the evidence at any contempt hearing. You can move it up if you want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's because of the Charmaine. It's because like when I'm on this document, I have to think of the transparency or like our screen that's around it. And so if it's at the very bottom, then nobody can see it. And if it's too high, nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Usually I'd pull it up on like my phone and read it from there. You should try that.
Yeah, bring that eyes, Ivy. Do you want to read it instead? I'm just kidding. I'm in a mood. I apologize. I shouldn't have said
No,
I was jumping on it.
no.
11, Mr. McClellan had communications with a person that had confidential information which they publicly disseminated and claimed who their sources were, but Mr. McClellan did not report that information or direct anyone to investigate it. Those exchanges will be evidence at any contempt hearing. Number 12. Prior to filing his request for contempt, Mr. McClellan had not received or reviewed all of the results and interviews related to his accusations. That will be a part of the evidence at any contempt hearing. Did you want to move it up? Mr. McClellan was present at unrecorded conferences with the court that impact his allegations and will be part of the evidence at any contempt hearing. He will be called as a witness to corroborate the testimony of other witnesses. Mr. McClellan will be called as a witness at any contempt hearing. He has been so advised, yet has not withdrawn as counsel for the state for any such hearing or designated either of the two other prosecutors on the case to litigate his contempt allegations. Wherefore, counsel prays the court to bar Prosecutor McClellan from participating in any contempt proceeding. Respectfully submitted, David R. Hennessy, XOXOXO.
I wish it
I'm-
was like that.
Okay, those letters. I was looking at comments here. Those letters are not damning to me except themselves. They are insignificant. One of the motions mentions them and gives them a backhand wave. Which letters?
Like from Fig and
I
Frank.
assume he. Sorry.
I feel that those are very insignificant and it won't matter myself. That those, I don't think that any of those things will actually matter. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
The letters, I feel like they're very insignificant. They're not even going to be.
100% insignificant.
Yeah,
Absolutely a waste of time.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah, and yeah. So that's how, go ahead.
My biggest criticism about, I don't know if it's be a criticism about them, is that at the time that they were written, how can you deny the claims or allegations if they have not been made yet? They were slightly made in this, a little bit on like number 11 and 12 maybe. But even if you think you know what they're going to be said, even if that's right, like you still can't deny the allegations if there's no allegations.
Brains have here. My bad. Just going down these things, looking at people's comments.
I can only state. I can only say.
Oh,
state
Adam.
in regards to Fig's letter. There were his name was mentioned how many times in that
I do find
filing?
Fig's letter a little different than the others. I will say that. Like it makes way more sense that he would write them.
I can understand why he would, because he was specifically talked about over and over again.
Like half the filing was him.
Right.
That's why I
And
think
so
it's
I
like-
don't think it was to defend anything. I think that it was because Fig was never contacted by the defense. Fig was never contacted to even, if they had questions about Fig's involvement or whatever, it would be presumable that the defense would have contacted him. They never did. But they included his name multiple times in that filing. I think Fig's intention in writing the letter that he did to the court was to put it on the record that whatever the allegations were going to be against him were not true.
Maybe he shouldn't.
And he included a Google Drive with all of his communications with law enforcement and Nick McClellan. He included a Google Drive that included everything that he had, that showed that, he received unsolicited crime scene photos. And he did the same thing I did. He contacted law enforcement and he told them he received them, and he helped them in however he could to figure out where they came from. That's it.
Maybe though Fig shouldn't deal with the trash channels and stuff like that though, and then he wouldn't get himself in this little predicament.
What do you mean trash? I mean he
Like-
he didn't he took
Like
it to the court. He put it in a legal document, and he sent it to the court.
What I'm saying is,
That's it.
when you sit there and you talk with people that you know are pieces of shit channels, like, I'm just gonna say it, Little Frank, He's inserting himself into this beyond ridiculous. So to sit there and try to have conversations, like I said, with him, you're just asking for a world of hurt and stuff like that. So meaning if you put yourself in places, though, this is the stuff that happens. And the thing is that, regardless of what anyone thinks of Fig, his heart is there for the right reasons, even if he might be, dipping into me with these people. Like I said, I don't associate myself with those people, that try to sit there and think that they're smarter. You got this person thinking that they're being smarter than that person. You got little Frank thinking that he's smarter than anybody, and stuff like that. And then all this stuff happens. And then that's why we keep seeing, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, then you have these little shits like Frank there sitting there trying to record you, making you look like you're, this or doing that and stuff like that, and playing it all. You know how when people put it that spin twist to everything, even if it's in the most innocent way and stuff like that, to me, it's like I said, when you put yourself in the middle of shit all the time and stuff like that, or you're saying that you have this information or that information from this person or that person, type of thing. Like I said, you're just honestly asking to be put in the middle of stuff like this, and hence why we're not even in the middle of any of this stuff, because we don't deal with the drama of it all.
Exactly. And like Travis says, they have no idea where the lead pipe is going to go with this. None of these letters can be considered by the court in granting or denying contempt. However, if you're going to have witnesses on the stand that are going to testify to things that they think implicate the people that wrote the letters, they absolutely could then affect it.
That's what I do find it interesting that the majority of the exhibits
All the time.
are having to do with things that Fig either said or wrote somewhere, but he wasn't going to be called as a witness. I do think that's like a little telling.
Right. And don't you think to me, the most telling thing at all is that the defense put his name out there all of those times. In 3 filings now, there have been 3 filings where the defense has included Fig's name.
Again, though, what are they supposed to do? Just call him Fig Solves?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying whether they say Fig Solves or they say his real name, it doesn't matter. They've included him in 3 of their court filings now, but yet they've never contacted him.
Okay,
Right.
Sorry. I should have let you finish. My bad.
And that's the thing. They've never contacted him, So
To me, it
Right.
goes along with it. Their intention is not to even discredit him. It's just to paint a public narrative to distract from their own actions.
But I don't think that the narrative was that he was involved in disseminating the crime scene photos, which for some reason a lot of people think.
Well, no, in the last filing, they even implicated him as having a contact with the court itself. And they used that as one of the reasons that they don't think Gull should sit on the contempt
I
hearing.
can see why, though. Like, I don't think you're going to agree with me. I can see why some people might think that. In fact, I was on here like several months ago. Do you remember me asking you, like, when we were talking about these leaks coming out, I said, but people have leaks from the prosecution. So I went there, whether it's true or not. That was still something that I felt was true. And I feel like I'm usually a normal person.
If you suspected, if you are conducting the defense for a capital murder trial, or maybe not capital, for a double murder trial, and you believe that someone has been given information from a court employee, you're not going to contact them?
Not
like if you literally think that there's so much validity in the statement that someone
Right.
might have said that that they got information. I mean,
if your
is
goal
it your due diligence then as an attorney to contact that person to depose them? I mean, because they're literally saying that Fig got information from a court employee that worked for Gull, and because of that, they want Gull thrown off of this contempt hearing. But they've never contacted Fig. To me,
Right.
it's nonsense.
Yeah.
We're probably going to agree on that.
I agree on that. They would, like, if it was so relevant to anything, they would have contacted Fig.
Right, but it's apparently so relevant. They want Nick McClellan thrown off the contempt hearing, and they want Gull thrown off the contempt hearing. But they're not going to contact the person.
I think that's the goal, and I think that's the goal, and I think they knew or had a pretty good idea that Fig was not going to be helpful in reaching that goal.
Well, apparently he was. He provided all of his
No, I mean, to talk to him. Like, if they were to contact Fig, he was not going to, even if he did have a source, he's not going to tell them that. And I think they had a good idea of that. So for their goal, like, totally separate of the truth, their goal was to get them off because of, like, somebody in her office being involved. So for their goal, it didn't make sense to contact him and talk to him about it because it probably wouldn't have been helpful for them anyway. Not saying that that's right. I'm just saying from their point of view, I think that's probably how the thinking went.
But it also negates their argument because you can't say something's definitive without all of the information and evidence.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. You can't say definitively.
So you can't be like Gull can't be there and Nick McClellan can't be there. But we didn't go and check into this.
I just find it that whole memo thing or whatever you want to call it. I feel like it's just so laughable. Like, come on. So directly or indirectly, it's just all a bunch of he said, she said, they said. They're not going to care about that shit. I don't know why, but that's how I feel. When I seen that document, I was just like laughing my ass off, really. Is it pertinently going to help this trial in any way? Like I said, this is all people that are, like, okay, maybe there is a couple people out there that literally were handed some paperwork where they shouldn't have got it from. I'm sure that there is some, absolutely somewhere.
Yeah, by the defense. We've
Pardon?
seen it. We've seen it multiple times now.
And but honestly, I don't know.
Raina Woodhouse,
Yeah.
Rick Snay,
Right?
all sorts.
I think there have been leaks on both sides. Whether the other side happened when there was a gag order or a protective order is a different.
That's all that matters.
Miss Fanny will.
And who just there one of the filings today, which we'll get to eventually, is that they want Gull removed from the contempt hearing.
Get that right.
So they couldn't get her removed from the trial, so they want to get her removed from the contempt hearing.
Yeah. Okay. Off topic. Something to consider. Are they going to transport the jurors 2 hours to Delphi? And then 2 hours back to Allen County every day?
Unless they sequester them.
Yeah. Right. And they might.
I have a question for Travis, if he's still in here real quick.
Yeah, he is.
I think somewhere in here it said that they were going to call McClellan as a witness, and that basically I think they were saying that if he was a witness, that he shouldn't be prosecuting, which is it's weird because it's not a separate case. So then, like, what's the meaning of prosecuting? But is that a thing or is that a stretch? Is my question.
To me, it's interesting. I mean, well, Travis answers that in the chat. Like, to me, that was like I was like, well, if he's going to be called a witness, can he then be the prosecutor in this hearing?
Yeah, and I have no idea.
That's a fair question, and I'm not sure, and I don't know the answer of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that just crossed my head. They're definitely not going to call Brandon Woodhouse to help the defense house, because the defense fucked up by sending him that freaking whole thing.
I still don't believe that there was discovery information in there. I still think it was all work product.
I agree. I agree with that.
I'd like to hear what Charmaine thinks.
Yeah. Is that because you miss hearing her voice?
Respectfully, no comment.
He pleads the fifth.
I object. I want to hear the comment.
Can you plead the fifth as a Canadian?
I object to her continuance, and I compel the
Yeah.
court for an immediate discovery deadline.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time that everybody had a
About
coffee.
the Woodhouse thing, I agree with Ivy. I believe work product, not discovery. That was the most recent thing, right? That's what
There you
you want
go.
my
Yeah.
opinion on. Here's my opinion.
Did you agree
I
with me on
regret
what I
asking.
said? I said I had to go pee. Do you agree with me?
I actually move. I agree with Anne. I move for sanctions against Charmaine.
Yeah.
She
Right.
will henceforth be muted for 90 seconds.
Okay. I seriously got to go pee. So I'll
If
seriously
he
be
is a
right back.
witness in contempt,
Talk to
can't
you.
be a prosecutor on contempt, but can still be a prosecutor on main issue. Oh yeah.
Right. So I was really interested by that, Travis, because if they're going to call him as a witness, that might tie his hands as far as then prosecuting the contempt hearing.
And would you agree that in this situation, it makes sense to call him as a witness? Like, I don't think that's just a trick to get him not prosecuting it.
I would
Because-
want to know what on what like for what purpose he's going to be a witness. Like if I were the court, I would probably want more information as far as how they were going to use him as a witness.
Probably.
And that's fair of them to ask.
Probably talk about what communications between him and Fig. And as for like, I have
If
no
Fig
opinion
turned
on
them
those
all over.
letters. I think
I was
it's
thinking-
irrelevant, and I think it's a waste of time, and that's why I don't even want to involve
Right.
myself in the conversation. I don't.
Right. And if Fig turned all of his communications with Nick McClelland over and Nick McClelland turned his over and they coincide, then there'd be no need for him to be.
See, I figured that they would be asking him about the like leak investigation, the crime scene picture investigation part, and that and the what was the thing that everybody was so mad about? Not everybody. One side was so mad about that he like saw
The ex parte.
not the ex parte, the one with the West German, like maybe that.
Oh, because of the leak investigation that it's in a different county. There's a different judge, but yet McClelland had information about it.
Yeah. So and then maybe ask him like, why didn't you do this? If this was such a big deal, why are you just now doing it? Why didn't you do it back then, even if we were off the case?
Right.
Like all that stuff. That's what I think they'd ask him.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know that I sent information to Nick about Westerman before he was publicly known.
And now we have to burn you at the stake.
Apparently. So I mean, I don't feel like there was any reason why he then wouldn't have access to some of that information when he was sent it. But
We
No.
just that one, Travis.
Well, I think
but
that
notice his trials after Richard Allen's now. And now the defense is wanting the contempt to all be after the trial, which is never going to happen.
I think it should be though.
It's.
Should be.
It's not going to happen, but it should be.
Which motion is next?
I mean,
We've seen this. We've seen this. We've seen this. Wait. We didn't see that. Wait. Was that him talking and then all of a sudden he just quit?
He giggled, then he quit.
Yeah, he is too busy laughing.
Oh.
He's having a party all by himself.
sorry, I was joking a little.
What did you? I was too busy trying to find the file.
This is not a party I'd want to go to.
So which one am I doing next? Object to change. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's just. Okay, there's the objection to change of venue. Blah
Thank
blah
you,
blah.
SB.
So there
And
it comes down.
Are you still
Okay.
I don't know the word. Are you still like don't think this was necessary at all?
What?
The objection to the change of venue?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, no. Ivy. I didn't like pick up on the fact that this was filed by Hennessy, so I was kind of like, huh. I was like, why are they asking for a change of venue and no one's asked for it? Because they say it in there. And Ivy pointed out to me that that this was filed by Hennessy, so she thought it was in relation to the contempt hearing, and I was like, oh, you're right, my bad. I still thought it was a little silly but I'll let Ivy read it because like she's the one that was like the pro on this.
I keep forgetting that we have to read these. My bad.
Careful,
Well,
yeah.
no.
Or
At the end, I don't care about this one really. It's just a motion to objection and change of venue.
to which
So
no
wait,
one filed for.
how?
It's not saying that it objects to the motion of them that the prosecution is just saying that they object to her changing the venue to Allen County.
Yeah, of course. And no one has
That
proposed
happens
that
all
they
the
do that.
time.
Yes, she did propose it. She scheduled it there. That's what I don't understand. Like why you're saying nobody proposed it? She scheduled it there.
Well, when they originally scheduled, if you're talking about just the contempt hearing, when they originally scheduled it, if you remember right, I think I might get the day wrong, but I believe that the contempt was filed on January 29th. And she originally set the motion for February 12th, which her docket was full already. So if you look at the exemptions for why a judge can file it to be in her or his own jurisdiction, accommodating their schedule is one of the reasons. And with that 11-day, 12-day, or 13-day scheduling, that would fit. And then the defense themselves are the ones that filed for a continuance on that, which then would also give her another exception to why she could then want it in her own jurisdiction.
I'm not saying that it's wrong either way. I'm just saying that there was a change of venue. Like that was a thing. Are we going to skip this one?
What is this one?
Oh, what's this one? That
Motion for specific findings of fact and conclusions.
thereon. So many new words.
What's this one about?
I can't remember.
Okay, hold on. Oh, it's very small, right? Defense counsel Andrew Baldwin and Rosie counsel Hennessy respectfully request that the court issue findings of fact and conclusions thereon. We respect the contempt proceeding scheduled for hearing on March 18, 2024. In support of this motion, defense counsel states the following. Indiana trial rule provide that upon writing the request for any party filed with the court prior to the admission of evidence in a case where issues are tried without a jury, the court shall find the facts especially and state its conclusions thereon. Wherefore, defense counsel by counsel respectfully requests that this court issue findings of fact and conclusions thereon regard. I'm sorry, what did I actually just read?
Are they requesting like almost like a little investigation from the court?
Travis says this motion is to make a record for appeal. She can't say, I find you in contempt and I do this as sanction. So it's just a record for appeal.
Okay, is this the recusal one you guys are speaking of?
So real quick. So Travis, are you saying that in order for her to say, I find you in contempt and here's the sanction, she has to, in addition to that, say, I find you in contempt based on these facts, not just in general. Is that true? And I would also like to say that silence is the opposite of pedantic.
She has to give a detailed order.
Okay. All right. What's this one?
Okay, so this one is, what's this one? Verified petition of recusal. Is this
Did
the
we
one you
already
guys?
do this one? I think we already did this one, didn't we?
No. Maybe it's because you were too busy reading it today. You think we did?
I thought
No.
we just talked about kicking
No.
off McClelland.
No, we didn't cover this one yet. I haven't clicked on it because I can tell.
This is for Gull.
This is for Gull, right? Okay, Adam, your
Yeah.
turn.
But
Oh,
it says recusal of prosecutor. I did.
oh, wait, is that the same one?
Yeah, I did the Nick McClelland one already.
Okay, yeah, so that's probably the same one. I think I actually did that one twice.
Oh, okay. So, Okay, sorry, my bad then. So what's the other one? Because I don't know what the other one's called. When you're talking about which Fran Gall, what's that one called? And then I can pull it up.
Here, I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook.
Dang.
They look exactly the same almost.
Yeah, just like
Or just
One
because
has a
comes in
1
the
in it.
order one. Yeah, that's what it is. One has a 1 in
you.
it. Okay. Oh, that's where did you do
Okay.
Ivy? Did you
Okay,
you send it to me
yeah.
personally?
yeah, on yours.
Okay. Okay, I see. Let me see what that one. So that's 24 petition recusal. That's the one that you just sent me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's let me see if it's going to open up in the other one. Petition recusal. 1 second. This one right here. I found you, and then I clicked off you. Where did you go?
To sponte. Now that's a word in all of our vocabularies.
So stupid. It was just like, oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to bring it into this program. Okay. All right.
My turn? All right.
Yeah.
Verified petition for recusal from contempt proceedings. Come now, attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Rosie by counsel, and respectfully petition the court to recuse herself from any contempt proceedings. In support of this petition, counsel states, on October 8th, 2023, by email, the court made inquiries about and suggestions for law enforcement's investigation of a reported leak of discovery material subject to a protective order. Exhibit L, Appendix Volume 1, at 224, state ex rel. Richard Allen versus Carroll Circuit Court, Indiana Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah. In that email, the court, sua sponte, offered to use its contempt power it did not have under the circumstances, to assist the investigation by compelling the cooperation of recalcitrant content creators. Oh, sidebar. That means having an obstinately uncooperative attitude towards authority or discipline. All right.
Recalcitrant.
Yeah.
Recalcitrant. Why don't people just use regular words? Okay.
Well,
seriously.
I mean, they pretty much just then were like, oh, because they had to Google it too. So they used the definition in line 3, and it says the court's intention and participation in the investigation give rise to the appearance of lack of neutrality and independence. The court instructed defense counsel they were expected to cooperate with the investigation, which they did. This was further involvement in the investigation. The court has received much information from the attorneys and other sources concerning the leak that may or may not be admissible in a contempt proceeding. Recusal is appropriate to avoid the possibility and appearance that the court is considering events outside the evidence and testimony actually presented at a contempt proceeding. Without having heard any evidence, and without even having reviewed the documents sent in accidentally misdirected email, the court has already expressed its judgment that the misdirection of the email was an egregious error. It is therefore, at least appears, the court has prejudged the contempt allegations by the state regarding the misdirected email. More generally, the court previously not only criticized the same defense attorneys for the same conduct now alleged by the state to be contemptuous, it also coerced them into withdrawing their representation. It also coerced them into withdrawing the representation of Mr. Allen for that conduct. Again, there is at least the appearance that the court has prejudged the state's contempt allegations. Defense counsel will be offering admissible evidence that Gary Baudet, aka Fig, aka Fig dot solves, comma, a person who has involved himself in this case on the intranet, claimed to have received and disseminated confidential documents, and that his source for the documents was an employee of the court. Protesting too much, Mr. Baudet. They misspelled it all the way through.
Yeah.
Has now written a fawning letter to the court denying allegations that have not yet even been made. Under the circumstances, with the allegation of the court involvement that will not go unsubstantiated, the court should not be ruling on the admissibility of defense counsel's evidence regarding Mr. Baudet and his activities, much less assessing what value to give it. Counsel for the state accessed and in a filing with the court even quoted an ex parte motion by defense counsel. DocsPop has confirmed that the ex parte pleading was correctly filed as confidential. The Carroll County Clerk has confirmed that the ex parte pleading was only shared with the defense counsel and the court. One of the court staff has reported that they thought a confidential filing applied only to the public and not counsel for the state. Evidence about access to the ex parte pleading will be presented at any contempt hearing. Because it appears that the state's access to an ex parte pleading was enabled by the court staff, whether due to improper training or through ignorance, the court should not preside over any contempt hearing. The court conducted its own investigation of the leak and lent itself to the powers to the...
What number are you on? I got
10.
sidetracked. Thanks.
Am I not being compelling enough for you?
No, I was trying to find something actually as I was doing that, and then I forgot that I was. Okay, come on, man, it's my third live. I totally went brain dead that I was even on the
Let's
live.
start over. I'm kidding. Number 10. The court conducted its own investigation of the leak and lent itself to its powers to the investigation conducted by others. As a matter of public record, the court at least appears to have prejudged almost all, if not all, of the state's contempt allegations against the defense counsel. The involvement of the court staff will now also be the subject of any contempt hearing. Under the totality of these circumstances, the court cannot appear to be neutral and detached, arbiter of the state's contempt allegations, and accordingly, the court should recuse itself from these contempt proceedings. Wherefore, counsel for defense counsel respectively praise the court to recuse herself. That is the Christian way. Respectfully submitted, David Hennessy.
Do I dare say thoughts?
I concur.
Was that the last one?
No.
Was there more?
Yeah,
Is it the next to last one?
Okay.
read the line about the letter. What? Read the line about the letter. I'll go back. What letter?
Read the line above the letter.
Yeah, what letter do you want?
What line?
Which line is that? I just closed it off, but I'll open it back. I'll pop it back up.
Is it
I'll
number
just
8?
pop it right back up.
Which one?
I think it might be number 8, maybe.
Number what?
8.
I'd love to read number 8 again.
So would I.
wait, is that the one?
Defense counsel will be offering admissible evidence that Gary Baudet, aka Fig dot solves, comma, a person who has involved himself in this case on the intranet, capital, claimed to have received and disseminated confidential documents, and that his source for the documents was an employee of the court. Protesting too much, Mr. Baudet has now written a fawning letter to the court denying allegations that have not yet even been made. Under the circumstances, with the allegations of court involvement that will not go unsubstantiated, the court should not be ruling on the admissibility defense counsel's evidence regarding Mr. Baldet and his activities, much less assessing what value to give it.
Okay, duty is file papers. Okay, this is overboard. A few human errors, okay, but this filing by the defense, how you call truth is half the truth. Okay,
What
so
a good point.
which one?
Cold truth, Mills. It's an excellent point.
This is overboard. A few human errors, but okay, this filing by the defense is half true. Cannot be chalked up to oops by the prosecution.
If even half true, you can't. It shouldn't be poo-pooed. That's all.
Wait, which filing?
I think she means this one. I don't know. I shouldn't speak of that. I assumed this one, but I think that the part that's kind of compelling to me is the part where it talks about prejudgment, basically. So, like, if we go back to October, before there was a fact-finding mission, basically. I keep using the word basically. Before there was fact-finding mission, from the records that we've seen, Gull already made a judgment about it. So then the question would be, could she unbiasedly judge the hearing, considering that she already had made that judgment? If that makes sense. Did that make sense?
I don't know. Doesn't make sense. I want to ask Travis about this. From the video that's out there. Okay, now this is that conversation between whatever, Triple F Frank, basically Little Frank, whatever. Anyways, it was a video that was put out there. I think they took it down again. Anyways, this was a conversation. So if it says, let's see, at Frank, so Fig solves and then at Frank, why would you need to stay behind the scenes though to not draw any attention? Yeah, I can't draw attention for the sake of protecting sources and working with Ali. So Adam, is this true or false that Fig
What?
said this? Or
I'm trying to make sense of what this is. Why would you need to? I can't try it.
I'm curious about this from Travis' perspective about
if you were talking to someone, presumably if you were talking to someone that had a history of not being trustworthy or confidential or putting stuff out there that other people had sent them, it's not a crime to lie to someone.
no, well, that's just it. But it's right. So that's my point on this. So Little Frank, okay, so this is how I see this myself. You got Fig over there, who has at least a bright mind. And I can see it. You try to play people. I get that whole thing. Little Frank thinks that he's the king of, playing with people and stuff like that.
You've talked to him, Sonny.
Pardon?
You've talked to him, Sonny. I mean,
Oh,
how,
Little Frank, yeah.
you know how those interactions go.
Okay, but the thing is, regardless of that, my question will be is, even if you're say being deceptive to somebody, regardless, Adam, is something like this, could they use it in court is my answer. So say Fig is just trying to
Right.
float his boat, talking to Frank and Little Frank, because Little Frank's such a little D head and whatever.
Yeah. I think you'd have to. You'd have to ask, an attorney. But
Well,
I can't see without someone on the record because, to my knowledge, well, I know that Fig has not been subpoenaed. I know that Fig has not been deposed. I assume that Frank has not either. So without either of those people being able to corroborate the authenticity of this, I don't think any of that would be admissible in any.
well, that's what I'm
instance.
wondering. But but I'd like Travis to answer that one. I get what you're saying, Adam,
Yeah.
but
So I mean,
I'm-
I'm not being contrary. I don't think it would be admissible because I think
Okay.
you'd have two different parties arguing something that no one can
Okay.
prove is correct or not.
So this is what Travis is saying. This is nothing but drama to me, and because that's all it is, right? You got
Exactly.
this person over here. Like I said, if anyone knows little Frank, you don't befriend that guy.
Right.
You don't do
But-
anything. He will stab you in the back. He will do anything he can.
But again, I don't think this is this in the filing? I didn't see this in the filing.
This was part of what the information was that they were sending. Was
But
this
who was
whole-
in, I didn't see this in the court filing.
Pardon?
This is well, I mean, this is why
the
Frank
evidence.
wrote
I-
his thing. Let me look.
Yeah.
I did not see this in the court filing.
We didn't see this because obviously it's evidence.
Well,
I was
You-
going to
you
say it
always-
would have been one of the exhibits, would it not?
It's an exhibit. Thank you. An exhibit.
oh, is this
Um,
from the Frank one that was from later tonight?
No. This was from 2
because
months
I've not
ago.
seen any of those exhibits.
September 16, but we'll say Fig posting working with law enforcement and
Right.
prosecution.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what they're talking about.
So that's why I was wondering, regardless of, if Fig was blowing smoke up his butt or not or whatever, it didn't matter. I just wanted to know if something like that could get Figgy in trouble
Right.
by putting that out there. I mean, it'd have to be
No.
proved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it is just drama to me.
Again,
And it would
Yeah,
have to
it's
be
true.
proved.
It's not illegal. I mean, like people
Right.
can criticize you, but he's not going to get in trouble. over
and
it.
again, if they thought there was actual validity to it,
Mhm.
they could have called him, and they never did.
Right. And absolutely, Adam. And so, like I said,
But then, like Travis said, neither are the three letters or admissible. So
well, yeah, that. And like I said, people do dumb shit all the time, like messaging people and acting this way and that way. And it's just a game, and to me, unless there's absolute proof of that, it would just be embarrassing for them if there was absolutely nothing to substantiate. Like Fig can say what he wants. Does it make it true? No.
now, if Fig were to have lied in the court document he submitted,
That
he
would be
could get in
different.
trouble.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that's why there's weight in that. There's weight in when you file something before a court. So
Mm.
I put some credibility towards the fact that someone's willing to risk going before a court and providing information.
Preach it. Okay. What other document do we have? Charmaine, no, it couldn't be you typing. It's Ivy or
It's
Elspeth.
me.
It's only because my face is in the way of your thing.
And I want to say quickly.
Yeah.
There are a few people in the chat that I have seen in the last day or two say that Fig is going to jail.
That's crazy.
That early?
Yes. And I would like to know on what grounds. And and trust me, I'm not a cheerleader for Fig. Like I call it like I see it.
I get it, and so do I, right? Like,
And so I'm like, but the fact that I think that, and there are people that I like, but I'm like, the fact that I've seen certain people like go out and say that Fig's going to jail. Please tell me how and why.
What law? That's silly.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, like, I'm sorry, but where does that stupidity come from? About Fig going to jail? Like, seriously?
That's kind of what I thought.
Well, because it is. I
Literally
mean,
people that don't
Mm.
understand the law and
it's
think that
right.
this is actually something that people should be talking about, and it's just not.
Even if it was, though, that actually, like, if everything was true in the stuff alleged, what law is that breaking?
Exactly. Like
I
I said,
think it's
so
pretty clear at this point that anybody can say anything they want on the internet aside from
That's true.
making direct threats and stuff. There's no repercussions for it.
Do you know the
Unless
thing that I have realized in the last 3 months, that the smartest person that's ever been involved with the Delphi case, I will give you one guess who it is.
Diener.
Derek
Thank you.
or Diener.
Sonny, you got it immediately.
Yeah.
Judge Diener he dodged a bullet
Oh,
that
yeah.
none of us even
He's like,
thought to get out of the way of,
yeah.
because his whole bloodlust thing, he's sitting on a beach in Fiji right now, probably being like, not my problem.
Not my problem. I know. He's probably looking at the stars going, thank you for aligning perfectly for me. Thank you. I mean, this is like a blood, what was the word you used? Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Is there another document we got? I don't know. I'm lost.
The one was it was essentially a duplicate of what we got last week.
Oh, that one. The one with all the names on it.
Oh wait, there was the
The what?
motion. Wait, hold on. So did we already do the motion for specific findings of fact and conclusions? Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah. Adam,
Um,
the only one I think I remember is the one that looked like it had Fig's name and the witness list. And that was just a repetitive one of last
Yeah.
week.
yeah, that one was, it
Yeah.
literally was just the objection to, so yeah, I think we've done them all.
I think we have actually. And
Oh,
Travis
thank God.
and Eric, I went to go send them to you. My computer froze. And I was like, and I had already done 2 lives earlier today, but I was like, when my computer froze, I was just like, forget it. Too many files for me to try to find right now. My computer froze. I'd have to reboot my whole computer. So I was like, YOLO, fend for yourselves, people, on that stuff. So hopefully Travis got the documents. And like I said, thanks to the docket for sending me the files on the Madeline Soto case. But like I said, I was trying to send them to, and my computer froze. I don't know. It never happened ever. But every time, there's lots of times now it happens where I go to go click the files, it turns gray, and it acts like it's not responding. Plenty of memory left, so I don't know what the hell is up with that. Something is doing something different on my computer for the last few months that's causing, because it never happened before, right? I never had that problem ever with sending an email and attaching documents and without it freezing. Now it's like freaking, I don't know, an every week occurrence at least. Attend at Sweet Dude who's admitting to releasing sealed. How about admitting to disseminating sealed LE info into a YouTube video before it was released to the public? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Do you know?
The bullet.
Oh, the bullet. What about the bullet?
He released his video with the bullet in it a few days before the PCA was unsealed. Apparently, I didn't watch it. I don't watch big stuff usually.
Was that the one in like
You should.
August 22nd or something like that?
Yes. No.
I
Yes.
don't think it's
No. It was. Well, I don't know the exact date, but it was literally maybe like a week before the PCA was unsealed.
if it's
And
the
his
August
video
22nd
talked about a
one.
bullet.
I don't think it's there anymore. The video.
But okay, so the PC you're talking about the Richard Allen affidavit, right? The PCA.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. And
So
Fig
you're
made a video where he mentioned the bullet casing, or not the bullet casing, sorry, the unspent round before the PCA was released.
yeah. You know, right? That's because we knew about it before it came out.
Right.
Yeah.
But how is the point?
Well,
And
exactly. Like I couldn't tell you like how, like who, where that information originally came from.
right.
I just know that.
So I think the insinuation is that his, and I mean, I'm not saying anything negative against Fig because I don't know, nor do I care. But I think the insinuation is that he was talking to Ellie and Nick McClelland, and that's how he knew about that
No.
bullet, and that's how he was able to release that information before the PCA was unsealed. I assume that is
Yeah.
what the insinuation is. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I believe that that insinuation is false. If I recall correctly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. There's people out there that, of course, are giving out information that they shouldn't, for sure. Um, it's kind of like that wife that died of cancer, um, that to the husband that they've claimed is leaker, um, you know, because she worked for the clerk's office and some Delphi shit comes across their desk or whatever, you know, and they want justice for Abby and Libby. They feel like they're doing the right thing. It's pretty much why people do that. It's because they're fighting for either the cause here of RA being innocent or for the cause of here's information, you know, type of idea. There's always those people. Um, but LE and getting it from Nick McClelland, well, I'm just going to laugh in anyone's face that thinks that because that would be a big joke. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, I don't think that they probably gave it to him, but it
No.
originated from there at some point. I'm not saying McClelland. It statistically is probably more likely to have come from somebody else, like involved in the investigation somewhere.
Or
Yeah,
like
well-
a wife of a cop or something somewhere along the line. Sure, could have happened anywhere.
Mhm.
And there wasn't a, I don't think at least there was a protection order at that time, which is probably important.
So Travis is saying it's no crime for a YouTuber to do a video on info they have from LE family or anyone who will talk. Might be right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. I agree on that. You know? So, you know, a lot of people have been, like I said, given information. So it's kind of one of those things is that it's a common occurrence. It's not like he stops at Delphi. There's whether it's from a police officer or somebody that's in a different side but still in the law and stuff like that, and somehow, you know, like I said, I mean, it happens all the time. So like Travis to me is saying, it's like, hey, yeah, I mean, if somebody gives me the info and I got it, okay, you know, because that person obviously is going to say, you know, you're not allowed to say where you got this from, you know.
Right.
And me, I don't ask, I don't care, honestly. If some information comes my way and it helped me to put maybe a piece of puzzle together, you know, it's not me that one that's freaking giving
Right.
information.
It's not a crime, but when you have attorneys in a case making accusations, that's when it becomes more important.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in these filings that we just read, you
Yeah.
have the defense, you have David Hennessy alleging that a YouTuber has gotten information from an employee of the court.
Right.
So yeah, so if that YouTuber had gotten information from a court employee, it would not be a crime for the YouTuber. But the allegation itself is what's
Right.
damning, and it deserves to be investigated.
So,
Agreed.
insert himself in the case, claims to have received disseminated confidential documents and that his source for the documents was an
Right.
employee of the court. That is not an allegation. That is saying something that Mr. Baudet had said. And he also says in here that he wrote that letter to the court denying allegations that have not yet been made, saying that they're not alleging anything yet at this
The
point.
defense is using those words as a
Yeah.
reason that the judge should be removed from the contempt hearing. That's an allegation.
Mhm.
That is an allegation, but it's not against Fig.
No.
And
They're
if you
using
move
Fig.
the contempt until
Okay.
after the trial, then none of this is even
They're
relevant.
using something Fig said, which they've never spoken to Fig, so they don't know whether or not there's any validity to it, as a reason to have the judge removed from a contempt hearing. That's my point.
Is that with a full stop at the end, Adam?
I feel like there are times where defense, prosecution, whatever, they might have people that they're interested in possibly talking to if other evidence or information comes to fruition, but they may not ever need to talk to them. But just the fact that this information is out there on the internet and so rampant all over YouTube.
If you're going to include someone in a court document, 3 court documents, it warrants speaking to them before using them as a reason to have a judge or prosecutor removed from a contempt hearing.
Yeah, but I mean, you were
I
saying
will stand by
before
that.
these came out.
I will die on that hill.
Yeah, but you were saying that before this document, before these filings came out, you were saying they should have talked to him. They didn't have a reason to yet.
Well, I found it odd that they didn't talk to him. They put his name in I said, well, no, the first one, I didn't say anything until they put his name in the first one.
No, for sure, absolutely. But
today I said that, they haven't talked to him. And but I do. I think to me, it points towards the fact that they know there's no validity to this. And that's not their intention. Their intention is to muddy the water, to benefit themselves, and to get their objective completed. And that's fine. That's fine. But don't put makeup on a pig and pretend it's pretty.
I am pretty. Shut up, Adam. I'm pretty. You know it. Stop it. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about it anymore. I didn't want to talk about it in the first place.
I'm sorry, but like I said,
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, like you seem to be getting upset, though.
Me?
No,
I'm not upset at all.
Well, yes, you
I'm
are.
literally just trying to keep myself separated from this drama because my head spins too much and I do get too worked up and I don't want.
Right.
I
And
don't
no, and
want-
I'm
I was
not
talking
upset at
back
all.
to Adam, though. I wasn't talking to you.
No, I'm not upset at all. I don't have anything to be upset about because,
If I crack a joke and you don't laugh, you're upset.
well, unless if it's not funny, then I'm not going to laugh.
Shut up! It was funny. You would laugh at that if we had it in our personal chat.
I didn't even hear your joke. See, that's how worked up I am. My brain
It's
is
like putting makeup on a pig and thinking it's whatever pretty.
Oh, and you said
Well, that wasn't funny.
Shut up! It was too.
No, it wasn't.
You would have laughed at that in our messenger private.
You would have sent an emoji at him. You would have.
Yes, he would have. Liar. But he's worked up right now, so now he's So different when you're like, it's not funny, Travis, and you got worked up.
No, I mean, I don't think that's funny because you directed it yourself. That's not funny.
Funny. It was funny. Ivy, I love
It's
you.
only funny if you directed it at someone else that I don't like.
I agree with Adam when it comes to they're not like, their goal isn't to investigate it and find out if it's true, but at the same time, I don't think it's fair. I mean, it's one thing to say they're making a claim, like it's a fact that when they write that, it's making a claim, but like I don't know what I'm trying to say. To allude that like it's just a claim isn't fair either because it's his words. They're presenting his words.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Then investigate it.
Yeah, and I agree with you that that's not their goal, is to investigate it.
I'm saying if someone makes words that you think are important to discriminate to getting a judge or a prosecutor thrown off of a contempt hearing, investigate your claims because can you imagine the importance of that if there's truth to it?
Oh,
If Gary Baudet actually has a source on the court staff, that's a damning
Oh, I definitely think that
evidence.
nothing would come of it.
But I'm saying that's a damning piece of evidence. It deserves to be investigated if there's going to be if the claim is being made. So investigate it and then report on it. Don't make the claim, not do any investigative follow up on it, and use it as your reason for to discriminate against the judge or prosecutor. That's my whole point. They're making these wild claims and they're doing no work to either disprove or prove them. They're just making the claims.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, there's like rules in law for a reason. So
It is an accusation.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, it's just like a bunch of horse shit being whipped out. And it's like, obviously they could do that, but it has to be proven. And
right.
And yeah, I agree, Adam, that they should do their, like, hey, if you're going to make a claim, you should, like, do the fucking homework behind
but
it.
That is clearly not their intention or motive.
No.
Or they would have done it.
Exactly. I like.
And do you know that? And do you know that Fig's wife has been getting contacted by people on social media making horrible claims about Fig that aren't true.
Yeah.
Just because they want to hurt him.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
And that's not related to the case. So I mean, it's fair game when you put yourself out there. I get it. But his wife doesn't deserve that. His kids didn't deserve to have their.
I think we can all agree on that. I mean, I don't think any of us would even like slightly
know that that's what they do.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Right.
Is that Fig or anybody else? The minute you put yourself out there is the minute that you are putting at risk if you're trying to hide your name and all that stuff. But the minute you start putting yourself out there and pissing people off, you know that they're going to dig up shit on you. They're going to do that shit. And the thing is honestly, there's no changing that. People are going to do that. And we've seen it happen in every case, really. Summer Wells, people dig up shit. Message of 16-year-old kid, So, yeah, the wife and that had no involvement in it. But you know that people don't give a fuck on the internet. They don't care what they do. They just do. They're just like a reckless mess, and it just.
And I'm not here to stand for Fig. Like Fig's a grown man. Like he can stand for himself. Like like I said, I call it like I see it. And
is he keeping his is he trying to stay out of trouble right now in a sense? Like he's not been in here. Like he might be watching, but he's not been in here talking. So has he kind of pulled back a bit? Just because of all this shit, I would think.
I mean, I would have. I have no. I mean, I
don't know.
I have no idea. I would have. I mean, I have no idea.
It would be wise. Like it's kind of like us, Adam. Remember when we keep talking about content creators and they're shit asses and blah 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 blah. You just leave the door open, right, for someone to make a video. So like if little Frank makes a video, I won't be shocked, and I don't really care. But by the same token, we kind of, for the most part, have moved on from that stuff, and so even if people are talking about us, we don't really know it because they're too busy picking on somebody else. So it's wise for Fig to back off, definitely at this time, because like I said, people will like this and then they find somebody else to pick on. They find somebody else to do something.
I mean, I don't ever tell someone how they should behave. I don't tell Sunny how she should behave. I don't tell Charmaine how she should behave. Well, I actually do tell Charmaine how she should behave, and she never listens to me. But I don't tell Fig how to behave. Oh, well, I tell him how to behave too.
Right.
Okay, well, I tell a lot of people how to behave. They don't all listen to me though. And
I was gonna say each to their own, right? I mean, but each to their own. But I'm just saying, for like me personally, it would be wise to pull back when you're put in the spotlight like that, and it's not a good spotlight to be in for him. It's just best to pull back in a sense, but he's going to do what he wants. I've just noticed he hasn't said anything.
Radar.
What she said? What?
Well, you should tell Adam.
Well, you should tell Sunny, Adam.
I think she's saying you should tell me how to behave.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different thing. That's when I'm like, Adam, you bad boy, you better behave. But Charmaine's
It wouldn't
close.
work.
Yeah.
Some of the ladies in chat want me to explain again what I was talking about when I said hallway sex. Do you remember this the other day?
Hallway what?
Are you trying to turn it yellow now? No,
You know that word, SCX. And
yeah,
put
that
it-
word.
If you were his friend, tell him.
Oh, right.
to
You
make
said I'm the one that asked you what it was. I had no
or
clue.
videos incriminating Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
I-
when you and your partner pass each other in the hallway and just say "fuck you." That's hallway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get
It's
it.
a thing. Married people
Never
do
heard
it.
of it, but okay.
I wouldn't know, but I've heard it's great.
Yeah.
I have a little side thing to say before we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joan
good
was
go.
in here earlier,
Yeah.
and she had some constructive criticism for me, but I don't have time to go spend rewatching multiple hours of our live streams. So if she would like to send me the example of something that she's talking about to my email, I would appreciate that. So I'm going to put my email in the comments right
What
here.
Can
What-
I read Anne's comment? Because that's
Yeah.
my favorite thing. That's
Okay,
hilarious.
we'll go back to it. Go back to it wherever it is.
Anne says, "How does an attorney sleep?
Oh, yeah.
First he lies on one side, then he lies on the
That's
other."
on another. That's because she, you know what? She was Googling because she said we needed a good lawyer joke. So she
Right.
went to Google, found one.
Charmaine,
Yeah.
you can laugh at that. It was not pro
You're not
defense
allowed
or
to.
pro prosecution.
I did. I giggled. I did.
Adam, you're not allowed to. That wasn't funny. You know, so gonna boss you
Yeah.
around.
I mean, now that I'm running for judge, I won't laugh at that.
Yeah, I see it all as well. I'm reminded every time I see a trigger warning on a live YouTube about a school shooting. Why are you in true crime live trial about if you are triggered?
Right.
Yeah, I kind of can see that.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Can't say I have. No, I mean, I guess I have triggers when I'm talking about a case, but it's not one of those things where I'm like, you know, like, you know, freaking bouncing off.
I got triggered listening to you talk about Steven Stearns this earlier today.
That was horrible.
Yeah,
I haven't watched-
that triggered me.
Right. So me there, you're right. I mean, my eyes started welling up with water because all I could do is picture this child and reading these disgusting things and stuff like that. So hurting children, I guess, would be a trigger of mine. So you'll find that on a live that I'm more like piece of shit, scumbag.
There's been a lot of kids cases lately too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It triggered me reading the abuse Elijah View endured. Like
Mhm.
those are the things that triggered me. Like it triggered me reading about Audrey Cunningham. It triggered me reading about Harmony Montgomery. Like this stuff, reading these stuff, this court stuff, like whatever, that doesn't trigger me. What triggers me is when there's someone that has no one in their corner, no one helping them, no one protecting them.
Yeah.
And they're helpless.
Like me on a Delphi live.
Charmaine, it's like I wrote that myself.
I know.
Hey, Adam.
That's what triggers me. And I'm sorry to go be serious for a second, but that's what triggers me. Is when
you trigger me.
I read about these little kids, and no one. So many people have access to them, and no one takes care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm done.
Okay, good. You're good. Anyway, good.
Thank you, Bossy. I'm waiting.
What?
I'm waiting for Bossy's ASMR video for me.
Video. Okay. My husband's been sneezing lately. Travis is saying that he was sniffling there. So I was going to say, Adam, do you remember when Deb was sniffling on a live. She had a runny nose. And then someone in chat was rude enough to say something like, could you stop sniffling and at least turn off your, thing?
I do.
Rude.
I got triggered by that because I thought that was so effing rude. It's just like, don't watch it then. Leave. Like, you're the one bitching about it. But sometimes, right, you just don't remember. It's kind of like when Charmaine's typing there. Sometimes I mute her because it's
Oh
loud.
my gosh, it's not just me, Sunny. You do
I
it.
do it
Me a little
too.
bit.
Hey,
But for Deb,
don't
though, it's not like
forget-
she's sniffling for fun. Like, I
What?
don't know. I
What'd
said
you
for
say?
Deb, it's not like Deb was sniffling for fun though.
No, that's just it. But there was somebody rude enough in the chat to sit there and say, like, your sniffling is annoying. And it was kind of like rude, like meaning because it could have been said a different way. Definitely.
She probably
Um,
still hasn't
I-
forgotten it either.
No, because because sometimes you don't
I know
forget things.
Deb
Obviously, I
probably still
remember it.
like Deb is probably like, I'll never sniffle on another live
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, but she was apologizing, but the person in chat was so rude how they said it. I remember, and it was just like, excuse us, excuse, like as if, like, I don't know. I just triggered those type of comments trigger me. Like, again, sit behind a keyboard, sit there and be so rude. But it was the way it was said. It was definitely the way it was said. Like your sniffling is annoying. But anyways, yeah, Charmaine. I know you wanted to deflect it back on me, even though I was specifically talking about you. But yes, I do that too. It's like you don't think about it. You just start, like, I've been a lot more aware. But sometimes, like, I'd be mute myself all the time, and sometimes I just forget, right? And the keyboard's going. And so if you're doing it and I'm not doing it, of course it stands out to my ear.
I try to type like super quiet now. If I know I'm
Yes.
not muted, I'll go like really slow.
Oh, the other night, Charmaine was like,
Oh, I know. That was terrible. I forgot all about it.
Was that with Travis?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
I just-
Charmaine.
I
I
forgot.
usually keep myself muted. I feel like I've been unmuted more tonight than I have like all the other times combined. Because my cat's always yelling at me, or boyfriend making weird noises, which you guys caught the other day. He tried to like come up and scare me, and I'm like, "What are you doing right now?" A bunch of people listening. Did you guys not hear that?
No.
Or maybe that was the night Sunny wasn't here. I was on and I wasn't muted, and me and my dog were sitting in my kitchen. My boyfriend like pops around the refrigerator and makes this weird noise at my dog and me.
Yes, I remember.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
There was this weird sound that came out of your thing. I remember that.
Yes, it was
And then you said something about your dogs.
embarrassing.
Sunny put me.
Well, I'm going to go to bed soon.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I am 3 lives deep.
I'm like,
and
you're
I'm
3 lives in, honey. You're like 9 hours in.
I
You're
don't know
about
how
to
you
start
do
a new full-time job. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
congrats.
So excited for you. Sunny's lifelong dream of becoming a Taylor Swift backup dancer is coming true.
I can't wait to get free tickets.
Yeah, me too. So no, I'm so excited for Sunny. Like that's so exciting. And Charmaine and I are gonna like have to start doing all the lives. Sunny's not gonna be on the channel anymore.
Right. It's like it's going to be profit sharing.
We'll just be emailing her. Hey, do a thumbnail real quick there, Sunny.
As long as the subs keep, or no, I don't even care about the subs. It's about the views.
No, all of our lives are just gonna be Charmaine and me being like Charmaine and I being like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, can we move on, please?
So be apologizing, Sunny. I'm so sorry if I.
All of the lives are just gonna be us with no camera on, being like, I don't want to talk about it.
What does chat got to say? Let's just leave chat instead.
I have to say this. Charmaine and Ivy, especially, if I'm afraid to leave them alone because they're such shit starters. And I'm afraid with you too.
That's
you
what
guys
I'm
are
known for.
those troublemakers that just on there. That's a private inside joke, by the way. But it's still funny making fun of it, calling them shit starters.
It's not so private anymore, is it? We're just shit starters.
You are shit starters, especially Ivy. Ivy is clearly.
I have issues with everyone. Everywhere.
So opinionated and like ignorant in her delivery. I
I
don't
mean,
understand
I
why
don't know if
she's
the opinionated part is a joke or not, but
Okay, so are any of you okay? Let's talk about that for a second, then we'll head off. Hopefully, Charmaine and Aspen will be going to the jury trial. To the trial,
Nope, I'm busy.
huh?
Aspen.
What'd you say?
I said nope, I'm busy.
Oh no, pure biz. Oh, I see. Someone
I'm kidding.
radar. What the frick is this typo in my name, Sunbee? I'll pop in on them now. Yeah. Radar. I mean, let's get real here. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Radar's not a guest on the panel,
look,
but you're
another typo. Hey, Ivy Rose.
I like to row the boat a lot.
Sorry, I'm not picking on you, Shibby. That was right
I
after
feel
that
like
was like
Go ahead.
Sunby. I was like, oh, here's another
I
one.
feel like he's spelled it like that before too. I think I remember.
On purpose.
Hates. It's funny that he says hates Satanists the most because one of my giant pet peeves is when people go down the satanic panic road. Oh my gosh.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what my pet peeve is? Is when somebody rows a boat to pick up Abby and Libby and then takes them back in the little kayak.
Kayak.
Do you know what would be the most annoying? Is if you ordered DoorDash and it was like your order is going to be here, but it's coming by rowboat. That felt like a Tom Webster joke. Sorry.
Definitely. Anyways, okay. You know what? We're good.
Are we going to talk about Aspen and I going to, or no? Is that?
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Go on. Shut up, Aspen. Go on about that there, Sherry.
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean me?
Well, I just said, well, like, we're good. And then you're like, are we
Yeah,
not?
like I'm going to bed. So what are you going to say?
Go ahead, Shermaine.
Well, no, you brought it up and then you got sidetracked. Squirrel.
No, Adam said he's not going with you. That's clearly what I heard. Anyways, so go ahead.
I would like. I'm going to figure out a way to go. And I know that Charmaine wants to go for part of it too. So
yeah, Travis.
More to come.
Let's go. Dig in your pocket, Travis.
Is there anything else you want to say about that, Charmaine?
Anybody else rich in here?
I think I'll save it until we have more conversations. Just out of respect.
I was like, I want to like, I need to do a little bit. I want to like, I want to do a little bit more research on it and figure out like what's possible, what it's going to cost, blah blah blah.
But if I drive, then we have a car. So driving 10 miles would
I would
be.
probably drive too.
Or fly and rent.
I don't do that. No.
I would probably drive too.
Well, if one of us drove, then we'd have a vehicle and we wouldn't have
I
to
want
worry.
to go. I'm jealous.
Yeah, but it's like there's nothing available to rent anymore, anyways.
Yes.
That
Yes,
one
Mark.
place is 9 miles out. I'm telling you, it's right on the lake. It's perfect.
Too bad it's not in Allen County. You can fly in there.
The cabin?
It's on a resort. It's a 2-bedroom cabin.
Oh, that one. I thought you meant the one that I sent you. That was like the raised.
What about the shed that I sent you guys from the nearest property?
Yeah.
And don't forget, Greeno also offered us his cabin near the bridge.
AKA shed.
I'm gonna stay at K Weber's. I'll see you there.
And let me just Google map that for a second.
I'll see
Wait,
if
I forgot. I can stay at Ron Logan's house.
I was gonna just say that. Eat his fish. Might as well just stay there.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in control. I'm in control of the whole fortune.
This may be wrong for me to say, and I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't offend anybody. But you know how much money people could probably make, like Kay Weber or Ron's family, to like Airbnb their homes out, especially during the trial, for like.
I mean, you know, I'm in charge of.
Fun.
I mean, you know, I'm in charge of the Ron Logan estate.
That's true. Make that financial decision.
You might as well just.
I'm gonna stay there with all my prosecution buddies.
Make sure you have a hog roast.
Oh, we're gonna have a 3-day party.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excuse me for a second. Butting in. Andrew, 34 hours. So if it's for 34 hours for me, you can tack on another 9 to 11 about 11 hours for Charmaine on top of that. Well, maybe
No, I
you-
wouldn't go that way because
Well,
you're
you
gonna
go
No,
down
Charmaine
that
would be
way.
closer.
Yeah.
I would be
'cause she-
going.
yeah. Well, I'm down at the very bottom, so it's
Do you know? So I have a friend that's going to the hearing on the 18th. That's from Canada, and it's only 8 hours because of the area of Canada they're in.
Really? 8 hours? That's
I
crazy.
know. I was like, it's longer than that for me, and I'm in North Carolina.
I live in Oklahoma, and to get to Austin, Texas is
Well,
like
yeah.
7 hours. So how can you get from Canada to Indiana?
you're
Well,
going
it's
straight
because-
down.
It would take me, if I went and I stayed with my daughter down, she lives near the border, the Montana border, it would be about a 20-hour drive for me.
It
Yeah.
makes a big difference, like when you're by the Michigan border.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
I
that,
mean,
that is true.
you know what a map looks like, right?
No,
Right? And you go straight down from Canada, from like that, like, well, we'll say the Ontario or whatever area, and go straight down. You know,
right?
there's, I mean, what's ridiculous though is it takes 11 hours to fly from Vancouver to Newfoundland, and you can fly 10 hours from here to England. You
Right.
know,
It's
but
weird.
totally.
Radar, the Victorian is booked.
My flight to Phoenix was like a little under 3 hours. It wasn't bad at all.
Nice, right?
I always forget
So-
how north Indiana is. I always picture it in my mind as like being more southern.
So this is how, yeah.
You get remember, like the north tip of Indiana is on a Great Lake.
Yeah. See, I never even think about that.
Wait,
That's true.
Adam, do you drive?
Yeah,
Yeah, he said he would drive, so then we wouldn't even have to rent a car.
Well, this is how I see it then. Charmaine flies in because she can't stay quite as long. Adam drives because he's closer and less
I
costly.
mean, I typically only go places by limo, but okay.
I know. I mean, I know that limo was an option for that. Yeah, of course.
I would
Hey,
rent a
Miranda,
party bus.
Miranda, that's a deal.
What did Miranda say?
Adam and Charmaine, if you go to Indy, I'll meet you for dinner.
Are you going to pay for their dinner too? Is the question.
Or
We're
cook
talking
it,
about-
one of the two.
Yeah, Popper's here now. Okay, it'd be very, very expensive, regardless.
Do they have
Because
hostels in Indiana? We could just go and like
it's a
backpack.
hostel.
I think they call them hotels there.
Pull out a tent. Yeah. Just pull out a tent. Go to Raider's house. Go to Brenda's house. Pop up a tent there. Actually, and then she can be your chauffeur.
I have options.
Okay, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
I
great.
know, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's
for the night
12:30.
now.
It's 12:30. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, it's definitely
What's tomorrow? Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, it's hump day tomorrow.
Yeah,
that
I've got
means I
mommy.
have
I've got
to-
mommy and me in the morning.
Okay.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah. You guys, love you all. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you,
Okay.
Charmaine. Thank you, Aspen. Thank you, everyone in
Love
chat.
you.
Thank you, Travis, for your input in chat as well.
Oh, here, I'll put myself on camera for half a second.
It's not funny, Adam. Take it back off. It's not funny. It's
Yeah.
I'll only laugh if it's funny, and seeing your face is not funny right now. So good night. Any last minute critiquing? Anything?
I
Anything
got it
from
all out earlier.
You got it
Delphi
out,
fatigue
Charmaine?
is real.
Charmaine, you say something and then I'll critique it.
Yeah,
Delphi fatigue is
You're
real.
wrong.
I'm over
you're
it.
wrong. Yeah, I object.
Fight
You're
me.
wrong.
Fight me.
I agree with Charmaine 100%.
The bullshit is real. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone. Within my reverie, there's holy light. Without an honor, we stand and fight. A Norfolk